This page is the cover of SEGA Saturn magazine, featuring key highlights for the October 31, 1997 issue, priced at 290 yen. The cover story teases new information and the first public reveal for Burning Rangers and SD Gundam G Century S. Prominently displayed is a major feature dedicated to robot and mecha games, promising an extensive look at the latest titles. Other notable games featured on this cover include the atmospheric RPG Baroque, Mobile Suit Gundam, Guren's Greed, the acclaimed adventure Riven, the sequel to Myst, the cult classic visual novel Yuno, A Girl Who Chants Love at the Bound of This World, the popular crossover fighter X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Magic School Luna, Princess Maker 3, and the party brawler Saturn Bomberman Fight. The magazine also features an interview with the staff behind the highly anticipated RPG Grandia, and continues its popular serialized novel based on the shooting game Tsukyu Gurentai. Additionally, there are mentions of guides and features covering a variety of other SEGA Saturn titles, such as Vandal Hearts, Cold Sept, Cotton 2, Layer Section 2, Raystorm, The Lost World, Jurassic Park Dead or Alive, Asuka 120% Limited, Samurai Showdown 2i, and Street Fighter Collection. It's a packed issue covering both major new releases and established hits across different genres. This page dives into Real Sound, Kaze no Regret, an intriguing SEGA Saturn title that breaks from the norm by focusing solely on audio. Described here as highly acclaimed and currently on sale, it features a standout creative team. Leading the project is director Kenji E. Ino, renowned for his work on innovative adventure games like Dod and Enemy Zero. The game's music is composed by Keiichi Suzuki, known to many for his memorable scores, including contributions to the Earthbound series. The page also highlights the game's voice cast, featuring popular actors of the time such as Takashi Kashiwabara, Miho Kano, and Ryoko Shinohara, who provide the voices for the main characters Hiroshi, Nana, and Sensui respectively. A crossword puzzle is also included on the page, likely testing players' knowledge of the game or the featured talent. This page showcases the magazine's focus on unique and narrative-driven experiences available on the Saturn. The next page presents a crossword puzzle centered around the critically acclaimed SEGA Saturn title, Real Sound, Kaze no Regret. This unique game, known for its audio-only presentation, is highlighted through clues covering elements of its story, characters, and the talented team behind it, including mentions of the director and possibly voice actors featured previously. Players are invited to solve the puzzle to uncover a special password. Details are provided on how to submit the password via postcard for a chance to win exclusive game merchandise. The page also confirms the game's release status, noting it's available now on a set of 4 credroms for 6,400 yen and can even be found in convenience stores, showcasing its accessibility. It's a clever way to engage fans and promote the game's distinctive experience. This page features a striking advertisement for the SEGA Saturn release of Dead or Alive. The artwork prominently displays the eyes of 3 of the game's iconic female characters, layered atop one another. The title, Dead or Alive, is displayed in large, bold orange letters, alongside the official logo and the Japanese genre description, identifying it as a 3D polygon fighting game. Below, the page promotes a campaign celebrating the SEGA Saturn version's release, offering limited original goods to the first 1,000 purchasers. Readers are directed to contact Tecmo's Consumer Business Department for further details on how to participate. The copyright information indicates the game's development period spanning 1996 and 1997. Dead or Alive was a significant addition to the Saturn's fighting game library, showcasing Tecmo's venture into the 3D fighting genre on the platform. This page continues the promotion for Dead or Alive on the SEGA Saturn, prominently featuring the defiant phrase, "You cannot defeat me." Below this, the English tagline declares it the newest 3D real fighting game now on stage, asking, "Which is your fate?" The page details the upcoming release, offering 2 versions, the complete limited special package and the normal version, both set for release on October 9th, with an estimated price of 5,800 yen before tax. The limited special package includes exclusive bonuses, such as a special visual book, a limited edition original case, and a picture label disc. Several in-game screenshots are displayed, showcasing the intense 3D combat and vibrant stages Dead or Alive is known for, featuring characters like Ryu Hayabusa and Kasumi. Contact information for Tecmo's consumer division is provided at the bottom for inquiries, though they note they cannot assist with gameplay strategy questions. This page is the table of contents for this issue of the magazine, highlighting the main features and special reports. Prominently displayed is a large feature on page 118 titled, "Everyone Loves Robots," promising a comprehensive look at everything from super robots to the latest technology. Clearly a deep dive into the mecha genre popular on Saturn. Page 19 details a special report section covering a range of titles, including the intense action of Burning Rangers, the puzzle adventure Riven, the sequel to Myst, strategy with Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Greed and SD Gundam G Centuries, unique RPGs like Baroque, and the acclaimed visual novel Yuno, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world. The list also includes simulation titles like Princess Maker 3, Fairy Tales Come True, and sports management games. Let's make a J.League professional soccer club, 2, and let's make a pro baseball team, alongside fighting games such as All Japan Pro Wrestling featuring Virtua and party fun like Saturn Bomberman Fight. Who? Plus other interesting titles like Startling Odyssey 1, Blue Evolution, Magic School Luna, Arcana Strikes, Ninja Penguin Manmaru, and The Mystery of Tutankhamun Ankh. The page features dynamic artwork of a character from Burning Rangers, hinting at the exciting coverage within. This lineup shows the magazine covers a diverse mix of Saturn genres, from action and adventure to simulation and RPGs. This page is the comprehensive table of contents for this issue, outlining the features and reviews within. It clearly highlights major sections, such as New Release Title on page 134, covering games like Sega Ages/Columns, Arcade Collection, the Battle Action for Sega Saturn, and Art Collections. Page 138 lists Coming Soon Soft, teasing upcoming titles including Real Bout Fatal Fury Special, Vandal Hearts, Lost Ancient Civilization, Cotton 2, Concept, and Lost World, Jurassic Park. A SEGA Saturn Soft Complete Guide on page 158 provides in-depth coverage for recently released games like Asuka 120% Limited, Dead or Alive, Samurai Showdown, IV, and Street Fighter Collection. Prominently featured are interviews, including a Grandia Developer Relay interview on page 98, and coverage of the Sega AM3 Lab on page 176. There's also a special feature titled Winter Hero, Cyber Troopers Virtualon X Over. The Game Index section lists a wide array of titles reviewed or covered, ranging from strategy games like Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Greed, and simulation titles such as Princess Maker 3, Fairy Tales Come True, to fighting games like All Japan Pro Wrestling featuring Virtua and RPGs like Baroque. The artwork on the page features a character that appears to be from the game Baroque, which is also listed in the index. Smaller sections cover recurring content like reader submissions, news, strategy guides, and software reviews. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Saturn game Refrain Love, a dating simulation title developed by Riverhill Soft, featuring anime-style characters and promoting a special limited edition release. This page announces the Digital Circus 97, Sega Saturn's Fall Festival, continuing from last year across 6 cities. The event promises a dream festival for Saturn fans, featuring areas to touch and try Saturn software, along with performances by Polymar Circus, known for their spectacular shows. Admission is free, offering fans a chance to fully enjoy the charm of the Saturn leading up to the busy year-end release season. The article also details a large prize giveaway tied to the event. Prizes range from a GDI Chariot Grandis, likely a vehicle, an Alba Spoon, a multimedia set, including a Saturn console and peripherals, various Sega Saturn games like Sonic R and titles from the Sadakali series, Picoplas units, digital cameras, tickets to Polymar Circus/Galbo performances, and original Sega Saturn goods. The quantities of these prizes are listed, showing a total of hundreds of winners. The event tour schedule is laid out, covering multiple cities across Japan. Fukuoka, October 25-26, Hiroshima, November 12th, Osaka, November 89, Nagoya, November 15-16, Sapporo, November 22-23, and Tokyo, November 28-29. Maps and photos of the venues are included. Finally, a caution notice addresses the Sega Saturn version of Dead or Alive. It explains that the limited edition sold out immediately upon its October 9th release, and due to high demand and the desire to satisfy users who couldn't get it, Tecmo will be re-releasing the standard version. It advises players to wait a little longer for the game to become available again. Sega Saturn News highlights several upcoming releases and events. A campaign celebrates the Sakura Wars Steam radio show digital fan disc, with prizes like a themed radio, Ober, saw a Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, Soul Hackers, SEGA Saturn Festa at Tokyo Joypolis. A trial version of Machi was available at a Shinjuku event. Wrestling fans can anticipate the release of All Japan Pro Wrestling featuring Virtua, with an early sale coinciding with a wrestling event. The most significant news is the release of the expansion RAM cartridge 4MB, crucial for enhanced arcade ports. X-Men vs. Street Fighter is the first big title to fully utilize it, promising arcade-perfect gameplay, with other fighting and arcade games also benefiting from the upgrade. This page announces the launch of MMV, a new label by Marvelous Entertainment focused on evolving Sega's game music. The goal is to create new entertainment software by integrating game music CD releases, video content, and more. MMV launched on June 25th. With 3 titles and plans monthly releases of original and arranged game music creeds. An event on October 7th celebrated the label's birth, attended by Sega personnel, and showcasing upcoming releases like the Sega Touring Car Championship soundtrack. The CD selection section highlights several new music releases, including specific Sega game soundtracks and arrangements. Notably featured are the theme collection for Bakusu Kyudai Let's Go WGP, the soundtrack for classic arcade titles Hangin' and Space Harrier, and Club Sega, which features club mix arrangements of tracks from various Sega games, including Top Skater and Nights into Dreams. This section offers a look at the diverse music offerings tied to Sega's IPS under the new label. This page features a book review section, highlighting notable publications for Sega Saturn users. The main review focuses on the Time Bokan Complete Works, a comprehensive guide to the classic anime series. This book is presented as a treasure trove for fans, particularly those who grew up with the show, offering nostalgic content like old posters, character details, production materials, and broadcast information. Despite an unusual listing of action as its genre below, the pickup section recommends several game strategy guides. This includes 2 guides for the RPG Slayers Royal, detailing gameplay flow, character information, and strategic tips for both beginners and dedicated fans. A guide for the fighting game Last Bronx is also featured, providing in-depth analysis of character performance, matchups, and strategies specifically for the Saturn version. Finally, a unique book titled Bisatsu Takarajima No. 329 is highlighted, known for its broad scope. It offers analysis of the game industry, delves into classic titles, and popular Bishoujo characters who became virtual idols, and includes a notable list of 79 selected games from gaming history, inviting readers to see if their favorite is included. This page presents the weekly Sega Saturn software sales ranking, offering insights into which games are currently popular among Japanese players. Super Robot Wars Fifly holds the top spot for another week, a testament to its strong demand, although the magazine notes that stock shortages are impacting sales. The second position is taken by the new release Can Bunny Extra, a game recommended for adult players. Debuting at number 3 is Samurai Showdown IV, Amakusa's Revenge, highlighted as a complete arcade port that makes excellent use of the console's expansion RAM for smooth gameplay. The chart lists the top 15 games, providing estimated weekly and total sales figures, offering a clear picture of the market landscape for the week. This page presents 2 key rankings reflecting the Sega Saturn scene at the time: user requests for game conversions, and the most popular arcade video games based on shop data. The top section highlights the user data top 20, listing games that users most want to see ported to the Sega Saturn. It's interesting to see powerhouse titles like Final Fantasy series, Dragon Quest series, Saga Frontier, The House of the Dead, and Street Fighter II is high on this list, showing a strong desire for popular games from other platforms and arcades. The commentary notes that recent arcade hits are quickly climbing this wish list. Images for Pia Carrot and the YS series are featured, both appearing on the conversion request list. The bottom section focuses on shop data top 15 for arcade video games, giving us a snapshot of what's hot in Japanese arcades right now. Virtua Fighter 3 TB has surged to the number 1 spot, pushing aside previous mainstays, showcasing the impact of this updated version with its new team battle mode. Other strong contenders include Tekken 3, Virtua Striker 2, and Vampire Savior 2, along with Scud Race Plus, which is highlighted for its challenging course. Fighting Bushido is also spotlighted as a new title running on Konami's Cobra board. The commentary confirms the intense competition in the arcade scene driven by these new releases. The Sega Saturn's upcoming software lineup is highly anticipated, with user data highlighting the most exciting releases. Leading the pack is Sakura Wars 2 Thou Shalt Not Die, followed by the RPG Grandia, which is nearing completion. Sentimental Graffiti, a dating simulation, rounds out the top 3. The top 30 also includes a diverse range of genres, featuring titles like Super Robot Wars, F Final Chapter, Panzer Dragoon Saga, Resident Evil 2, and fighting games such as X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Additional highlights include Burning Rangers, showcasing its innovative sound navigation. The Other Check, coming soon, section previews titles like SD Gundam G Generation S, promising enhancements, and previews All Japan Pro Wrestling featuring Virtua and Arcana Strikes, further expanding the system's library. This page features the weekly All Soft Readers Check, where readers vote on all released Sega Saturn games to create a ranking based on average scores. For Volume 72, the highly anticipated Super Robot Wars feed debuts at number 1, having sold 400,000 copies rapidly, although its score is surprisingly close to the second-place title. Jumping significantly up the ranks to claim the number 2 spot is the intense shooter Dodonpachi, receiving high praise from enthusiasts. Desire drops from first place down to 4th this week. Other notable movements include Silhouette Mirage falling from 3rd to 7th, indicating a slight shuffle in the top 10. Further down the list, the game featuring Chisato Moritaka makes a significant leap of 28 places, entering the 9-point average score range. Conversely, Kurosuma Fishing 2 sees a sharp decline, potentially due to a high score in a previous week. The ranking covers a vast library of Sega Saturn titles, from top hits like Sakura Wars, Sokyu Gurentai, and Lunar, Silver Star Story Unpeg Edition, to lesser-known releases, providing a real-time snapshot of reader opinions. Readers rate games on a 10-point scale, with the cumulative average determining the rank, making this a dynamic and ever-changing list influenced directly by the gaming community. This article provides further results from the weekly All Soft Readers Check, continuing the game rankings from position 169. It spotlights 2 new releases. Super Robot Wars Fane debuted at number 1, earning a reader average of 9.4684 and a magazine score of 8.33. This tactical RPG hybrid, released in 1997, is praised for its strategic depth, volume, and presentation, overcoming minor issues with split scenarios and load times due to the engaging battles and content. Neon Genesis Evangelion Digital Card Library debuted at number 63, with a reader average of 8.8751, but a low magazine score of 5.66. Also released in 1997, the Etc. game allows fans to collect cards and create video sequences, featuring unreleased footage. While appreciated by Evangelion fans for its content, critics noted playback limitations and repetitive minigames. This week's All Soft Readers Check rankings continue, focusing on positions from 278 onwards, and featuring reviews for 5 new Sega Saturn releases. Zeldnar Sild, a strategy RPG, ranks at 159, lauded for its deep battles and presentation, though some criticize its luck-based duels. Pro Yaku Greatest 997, a baseball simulation at 198, sees improvements with updated season data and enhanced pitching, though gameplay changes are mixed. Gun Frontier / Arcade Gears, a collection of arcade shooters at 416, receives praise for its faithful ports, despite some visual issues. Purikura / Arcade Gears, another compilation at 456, gets a mixed reception, deemed surprisingly difficult and lacking depth, primarily appealing to character fans. Mobile Suit Z Gundam Part 2, a shooting game at 473, is considered easier than its predecessor, but with somewhat unrefined mechanics, primarily appealing to Z Gundam fans. The next page continues the All Soft Readers Check rankings, picking up the list further down. The editorial commentary focuses on fluctuations in the BNAC tables this week, noting significant changes, particularly in the NAC table. Highlights include Tengai Meikyu, Daion no Mokushiroku climbing 10 ranks, Alien Trilogy dropping 35 ranks, and Steeldom gaining 15 ranks, while Engine Graffiti saw a dramatic drop, requiring caution. The D-ranking commentary humorously points out that Minami no Shima ni Buta ga ita, a pig was on a southern island, has reached the lowest possible rank at 613, which was a surprising event. It jokes about Germany being the only one left to chase it. Screenshots on the page likely illustrate some of the discussed games, showing characters from Tengai Makyu, Daiyon no Mokushiroku, gameplay from the first-person shooter Alien Trilogy, a character selection or menu screen from Steeldom, and the puzzle action of Minami no Shima ni Buta ga Ita. The closing comment hints at what might be featured in the next issue of the magazine. This page features the weekly All Soft Readers Check section for SEGA Saturn Magazine Volume 72. It previews upcoming games and continues the reader review section. We see reader feedback on 4 titles. Momotaro Duchuki, scoring 7.33, which is noted for its fun player versus player mode but flawed CPU play and tempo issues. Can Can Bunny Extra, an anime-style title scoring 6.33, is praised as a classic of the genre with appealing character designs. Samurai Showdown IV, Amakusa's Revenge, scoring 7.0, is compared to the arcade version, with comments on sound volume and depth, though the graphics are considered nice. Finally, Anarchy in the Nippon, scoring 6.33, is highlighted as a unique 3D fighter, despite some balance issues, with characters noted for their strong personalities. The page also includes reader comments in the Voice of the High-Class Owner section, touching upon games like Super Robot Wars Frey and Revolutionary Girl Utena. A general software review section discusses Super Robot Wars Frey and its ranking relative to Dodonpachi. There is a list ranking SEGA Saturn peripherals by reader average score. A large section is dedicated to recruiting participants for the reader race, explaining how to submit game reviews and participate in prediction contests featuring games like Dead or Alive and Tactics Formula. It also announces winners for previous contests and the special prize giveaway, offering bundles of peripherals and Saturn software. This page features a comprehensive look at the action game Burning Rangers, announced at the Tokyo Game Show and set for a winter release. This SEGA Saturn title will be priced at 5,800 yen and supports the analog controller. The article highlights the game's exciting action, diving into the overall flow of the game and the abilities of the Rangers. It also points out a must-read interview with the sound team. Visuals on the page include striking character artwork of the main cast, dynamic gameplay screenshots showing intense firefighting action against robotic enemies and large-scale threats, and a large dramatic image of a massive mech-like boss engulfed in flames. Further details cover a dedicated section for the sound team interview, featuring a photo of the team members, and another section revealing scenes from Stage 1, explaining the game's flow and operations as demonstrated in that initial area. The article emphasizes the game's hot topic status since its public reveal. This page continues the in-depth look at Burning Rangers, focusing on the game's core mechanics and the initial mission. It highlights the urgent situation at the energy plant, quoting the mission briefing from Navigator Chris, instructing the Rangers to enter via the emergency port and act quickly. The first mission involves responding to the massive fire at the energy plant, stopping its operations, and rescuing survivors. The 5 heroes face an unpredictable disaster, navigating dangerous environments filled with collapsing floors, intense flames, and obstacles, including out-of-control robots. The article details the key actions available to the Rangers. Movement is fluid thanks to analog control, allowing for adjustable walking and running speeds. Jumping includes a double jump ability, and the game features an automatic jump system when approaching ledges, though manual jumps are also possible, with assistance for grabbing onto ledges. The primary tool is the wrist-mounted extinguisher, capable of rapid fire or a charged shot for greater power, featuring an auto lock-on system targeting the nearest threat. The control scheme is praised for its smooth analog input. The article notes that the camera control is generally effective, but sometimes requires manual adjustment, which is an area currently under review. Overall, the gameplay is described as intuitive and engaging, building upon the foundations shown at the game show demo. The page is illustrated with character art of Chris and the Ranger Big, along with several screenshots showcasing the action and environment of the energy plant stage. This page dives further into the intense scenarios found within Burning Rangers, highlighting key moments of action and narrative. The content covers the critical tasks the Rangers must perform within the collapsing energy plant, from rescuing survivors to battling dangerous enemies. A core mechanic detailed is the rescue operation, where finding a survivor triggers an instant teleport system upon approach, emphasizing the rapid and satisfying nature of saving people. The goal is to rescue as many as possible amidst the chaos. Combat is also showcased, specifically the need to destroy runaway HST-2000 worker bee robots that are causing further destruction. These mechanical threats must be stopped using the extinguisher, with a tactic of targeting their legs suggested. The narrative expands to reveal a deeper threat lurking within the plant's depths. A powerful, unknown entity far exceeding previous challenges. Defeating this formidable foe is presented as crucial to completing the mission. This leads into the introduction of a specific boss, the giant plant Anemos, described as a massive, conscious plant creature that fires destructive projectiles. Its defeat is necessary to suppress the plant disaster. Character roles are further clarified with artwork featuring Shao associated with rescue, lead with attack, and Navigator Chris with contact or encounter, hinting at their functions and interactions during the mission. Screenshots throughout illustrate these moments of rescue, combat, and the terrifying appearance of the Anemos boss. This page delves into the specific abilities and essential equipment that distinguish the Burning Rangers from a standard rescue team. It explains how their unique gear enables them to tackle difficult missions. Key equipment includes the fire extinguisher gun, mounted on the arm, which can adjust its output to match the fire's size, and can also be used offensively. The burner unit, worn on the back and powered by the Mastaba Raksha energy source, facilitates vertical movement and enables double jumps, allowing rangers to navigate complex environments and land precisely. The protective shield system provides excellent resistance to heat and smoke, allowing rangers to approach flames, although it has limits, and the gun is still needed for raging fires. A vital navigation and communication system, centered around the navigator, ensures constant communication between the four members and provides critical information like survivor locations and surrounding conditions. The page also introduces Chris Burton, the team's navigator. Although she directs operations remotely and doesn't enter the field, her calm judgment and leadership are crucial. She monitors the team's status, directs missions, and prioritizes the safety of all members. The visuals showcase the fire gun, the burner in action, the shield effect, and a portrait of Chris Burton, illustrating the text's descriptions of the Rangers' capabilities and support systems. This section delves into the audio production of Burning Rangers, featuring interviews with key figures. Composer and vocalist Takenobu Mitsuyoshi shares his experience singing the heroic theme song, initially formed from only the karaoke version. Lyricist Tomoko Sasaki found it a fun challenge to craft lyrics based on the game's story and specific requests, and she was excited to see them come to life when sung by Mitsuyoshi. Sound director Naofumi Hataya highlights the collaboration and the high-quality recording sessions in New York, with top-tier producers and musicians, including Omar Hakim. The New York sessions provided a solid foundation for the vocals, and Sasaki also wrote the lyrics for the ending song. The page highlights the international talent and dedication behind the game's memorable soundtrack, with photographs of the individuals and studio sessions. This page announces the impending release of Riven, the sequel to Myst, the long-awaited mystery, for both the PlayStation and SEGA Saturn platforms. This page serves as a dramatic announcement for the upcoming release of Riven, the sequel to Myst. Building on the anticipation, the large image dominates the page, featuring the striking, rugged landscape characteristic of the game, with the title Riven prominently displayed alongside the Japanese text, "5 is here, Riven again," and the evocative tagline, "To an unknown world on Saturn." Below the title, two small screenshots provide glimpses into the mysterious world players will explore, showing the iconic central mechanism room and a view of the bizarre rock formations found in one of Riven's ages. The page confirms the game is coming to both PlayStation and SEGA Saturn platforms, developed by Cyan Productions and published in Japan by Enix and Sunsoft. This page is a special report diving deep into the world of Riven, the sequel to Myst. It hails the game for its exceptionally beautiful graphics and profound music, stating it vastly exceeds its predecessor in scale, and meets the high expectations fans had for the sequel. The narrative section sets the stage, revealing the story begins in Icarus's room. The player learns of the dire situation. Gin, Apretris's father, is the main problem, holding Catherine captive. The world of Riven is beautiful, but broken by conflict, filled with secrets and betrayal. The urgent mission is to save Catherine and somehow deal with Gan, acknowledging that it will require more than one person, and demanding insight, understanding, and judgment from the player to make the world of Riven their own and uncover the truth. Technically, the game boasts impressive scale, featuring over 10,800 seconds of video and over 7,000 static images, presenting what the magazine calls the world's highest peak in imagery. The page is visually rich, dominated by the large Riven title and a sweeping landscape image, complemented by 3 smaller screenshots showcasing diverse environments from the game, including the iconic Golden Dome Island area and rugged mountain pathways. It sets the tone for an immersive and challenging adventure. This page continues the in-depth look at Riven, the sequel to Myst, reinforcing its breathtaking visual presentations. The dominant image is a sweeping view of a path winding along a rugged cliff face overlooking the ocean, showcasing the game's incredibly detailed environments, unique rock formations, and vibrant plant life. A distinctive spiral staircase structure looms in the background, hinting at the complex areas players will explore. The large Japanese text across the top, translating roughly to make it yours, echoes the previous page's theme of the player's journey and ownership of the Riven world. 2 smaller inset images on the left further highlight the game's visual variety. One appears to be a close-up, showcasing the intricate texture detail of the environments, while the other provides a glimpse into a different, possibly subterranean area illuminated by artificial light. This page serves as a powerful visual testament to the immersive and beautifully rendered world of Riven, living up to the high praise it received on the preceding page and inviting players to delve into its mysteries. This page continues the in-depth look at Riven, the sequel to Myst, under the large heading, "To Challenge the Closed Paradise is You." The article delves into the game's impressive technical presentation and rich world lore. It highlights Riven's breathtaking visuals, featuring 7,000 pre-rendered CG images and over 3 hours of full-motion video, creating a truly immersive experience. Developed by Cyan with cooperation from Sunsoft, the game pushes graphical boundaries far beyond its predecessor, Myst. The multi-track sound design is also praised for enhancing the atmosphere and drawing the player deeper into the world. Screenshots display the game's diverse environments, from lush tropical islands with unique rock formations and flora to mysterious interiors and vast ocean scenes featuring strange structures like a dome. The article also touches upon the game's narrative context, explaining that the player is tasked by Atreus to enter the world of Riven, created by his father, Gen. It mentions the Dani civilization and the crucial role of linking books, specifically, the prison book used to capture Gen. Finally, the page notes the progress of the SEGA Saturn port, stating it is 70% complete, with Enix handling the sales, adding anticipation for its release on the platform. Riven, the sequel to Myst, is an intellectual adventure challenging players' senses. It offers a rich world with complex culture, language, and ecosystems, requiring keen observation and detail-oriented problem-solving. Unlike games relying on item management, Riven demands memorization and understanding of environmental logic. Puzzles are interwoven into the world, testing intelligence. Key elements include linking books for information and travel, and intricate mechanisms needing careful examination. Players must also understand Riven's unique creatures, such as the Wark, to solve mysteries. The text also highlights Myst, Riven's predecessor, a masterpiece that influenced adventure games with its first-person exploration, environmental puzzles, and minimalist interface. This page continues our dive into the world of Riven, starting with the striking image of a mechanical beetle, hinting at the unique, technologically advanced, yet antique design that permeates the world. The text reinforces this, describing Riven's atmosphere as heavy, but its appearance as a paradise, underpinned by sophisticated technology and an aristocratic design sensibility. It emphasizes that Riven is not what it seems, a sentiment echoed in the gameplay description. The game challenges players to rely on observation and understanding the world's logic, rather than traditional game mechanics. There's no typical game over state. Getting stuck means you must confront your own frustration in perpetual silence. The ominous presence of Gain is central, and the player must navigate his traps. We also hear directly from Cyan, the developers. They detail the 4-year development process for Riven, contrasting its immense scale with their previous masterpiece, Myst. They proudly state that Myst set the standard for the adventure game genre on PC, and that Riven's world is 10 times the size, showcasing incredible detail down to textures and 3D modeling, making the environment feel like a tangible, albeit alien, reality. The page includes a photo of key Cyan staff, including brothers Rand Miller, game designer, and Robin Miller, director, present at the Tokyo Game Show. They explain their approach was always to create something immersive, striving for the highest level of realism possible. This page continues the exploration of Riven, the sequel to Myst, introducing the crucial element of encountering inhabitants, a stark contrast to the solitary journey of the first game. The text suggests these characters, including a mysterious guard, might offer hints or guide the player, potentially including the abandoned lonely one that Atricious mentioned. Riven is depicted as a world of staggering beauty and sinister undertones, built with intricate detail where seeing and observing everything is paramount. The environment itself changes depending on your perspective, encouraging exploration like a tourist to uncover secrets and solve puzzles. Accompanying screenshots showcase the detailed world, a rocky prison holding the mysterious guard, a glimpse of a lived-in space with a drink suggesting recent presence, a stunning vista of water and landscape where even underwater coral is visible, and a large boiler that hints at the advanced, perhaps dangerous, technology powering this world. The page confirms Riven is published by Enix in Japan, is an adventure game, will be released at year-end on 5 credrons for 7,900 yen, is recommended for all ages, and is a single-player experience. This page unveils a highly anticipated simulation title, heading for the SEGA Saturn, Mobile Suit Gundam, Giren's Ambition. Developed by Bandai and especially, this full-scale simulation is scheduled for a February release, although the price is still undecided. The game is designed for single-player enjoyment and is recommended for all ages, offering players a deep dive into the Universal Century timeline. The page features striking visuals, including detailed renders of iconic mobile suits like the Gundam and Azaku engaging in combat. An anime-style image showcases key figures from the Principality of Zeon, notably Gihren Zabi himself, hinting at the strategic command aspect of the game, and potentially allowing players to lead Zeon forces. According to the report, development is progressing smoothly, and the game aims to provide a detailed experience, focusing on the revealed systems and the various mobile suits that will appear. The text accompanying the character image reinforces the narrative context, highlighting Gihren Zabi's ambition and his machinations within the war, setting the stage for the strategic choices players will face. This appears to be a serious simulation for dedicated fans of the Gundam universe. This page provides more details on the upcoming simulation title, Mobile Suit Gundam, Giren's Ambition. The game is set during the fierce one-year war and encompasses the entire Earth sphere, including Earth, the colonies, and the Moon. Players can take command, leading either the forces of Zeon under Gihren Zabi or the Federation under General Revel. Beyond simply recreating the anime, the game promises new scenarios and developments on familiar battlefields, brought to life with new battle animations and a CG opening. Famous locations like Odessa, Jaburo, Solomon, and Abawakwa are featured as tactical maps, where players will manage their units and strategic positioning. A core mechanic highlighted is the capture of cities and strongholds. Securing these key locations is crucial for gaining resources and expanding your military might, as mobile suits can only be produced at specific important bases. Screenshots show tactical maps displaying unit deployments and strategic connections, alongside unit elements detailing unit and base stats, emphasizing the deep strategic layer of the game. Winning the war hinges on mastering the capture and control of these vital points. The next page delves deeper into the mechanics of Mobile Suit Gundam, Giren's Ambition, explaining the fundamental game loop and command structure. The core gameplay follows a turn-based system cycling through allied strategy and action phases, then enemy strategy and action phases. Battles are resolved simultaneously at the end of the action phases, adding a layer of tension as outcomes aren't immediately known. For players new to simulation games, there's a helpful strategy mode, where the AI handles most of the detailed management, leaving the player to focus on key strategic decisions like operations, budget, personnel, and research. This allows newcomers to ease into the game and the expansive Gundam world. The game features 4 main command categories: strategy commands for overall planning, base commands for managing your strongholds, production, defense, transport, unit commands for directing individual units or groups, movement, attack, search, formation, and special commands which include unique abilities like Minovsky particle dispersal, weapon changes, and even unit transformation. The critical element for victory is securing and, crucially, defending your bases. The page emphasizes placing units in garrison mode at important locations to fend off enemy attacks, recommending elite forces for key strategic points like the Fortress Solomon, which is shown in a screenshot reflecting its state near the end of Mobile Suit Gundam 0083. Stardust Memory. Mastering the use of these commands and base defense is key to winning the one-year war. Mobile Suit Gundam, Giren's Ambition showcases a vast array of mobile suits, highlighted by impressive combat animations, particularly melee sequences. The game includes over 120 units, featuring iconic machines like the Perfect Gundam, Zeong with legs, and Blue Destiny units. Units are categorized by operational environment: space, common, ground, underwater, allowing for diverse gameplay. Players can unlock more powerful mobile suits through research and development. The game caters to fans by featuring famous ace pilots and their custom mobile suits, including Chara's Nonable and his iconic Red Zaku. The game utilizes CG to beautifully render the unique designs and weaponry. The inclusion of these elements promises a rich and engaging experience, allowing players to relive iconic moments from the One-Year War. This page dives into the Earth Federation's side in Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition, highlighting their strategy to overcome Zeon's technological lead through sheer numbers. With a total of over 120 units available, the Federation focuses on mass production, particularly the iconic GM series and ball units, to compensate for being slower in initial mobile suit development. A crucial early objective for the Federation player is initiating the V operation. Successfully completing this unlocks the core mobile suits like the Gundam, Gun Cannon, Gun Tank, Core Fighter, and the standard GM. Before this, the Federation is limited primarily to cruisers like the Salamis and Magellan. Strategic bases are vital, with key locations like Luna 2, Belfast in Ireland, and the massive underground complex of Jaburo in the Amazon being shown. These bases are essential for production and tactical operations. The page also touches on characters, speculating on the appearance of Lieutenant Matilda Aglajan, known for her support of the White Base Team, hinting she might appear in event scenes. The development path for the Federation is heavily centered around expanding the GM line. An example development chart shows how the basic GM can evolve into numerous variations, including the GM Command, GM Cannon, GM Sniper, and GM Light Armor, forming the backbone of the Federation's forces throughout the war. It truly starts with the GM, which makes perfect sense given the lore. This page shifts focus to the Principality of Zeon in Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition, contrasting their strategy with the Federation's numerical superiority covered previously. Zeon, led by Giran Zabi, emphasizes technological advancement and elite forces, prioritizing the rapid deployment of new machines like the EMS-05 Zaku to gain an early advantage. While possessing advanced science and skilled personnel, Zeon faces resource limitations as a colony nation, necessitating the capture of Earth strongholds. Key strategic bases for Zeon are highlighted, including the formidable space fortress of Abawa Kwa, the crucial resource mining site of Odessa on Earth, and the space fortress Solomon. Securing these locations is vital for Zeon's war effort. The page also touches upon Zeon's diverse support units, ranging from small fighters like the DOP to reconnaissance aircraft. Zeon's mobile suit development tree is prominently featured, showcasing the evolution starting from the Zaku line. This branches into various specialized units like the Zaku Lef and Zaku Jeg, eventually leading to more powerful mobile suits like the Dom, Gyan, and the high-performance Gelgoog, which rivals the Gundam in capability. The page also details the development of mobile armors, with Giran himself leading their creation. Noteworthy mobile armors shown include the experimental Big Zam, used in the Battle of Solomon, and the Elmeth, piloted by Lala Sune, capable of all-range attacks using wired psychocommunication weapons. Zeon's reliance on advanced technology and powerful unique units is a key theme. This page shifts focus in Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition, to the vital role of capital ships for both the Federation and Zeon forces. It explains how, despite mobile suits becoming the primary combat units, battleships and cruisers remain essential for transporting, supplying, and providing heavy fire support, noting their vulnerability to mobile suit attacks, but their continued importance in the overall strategy. The page lists key vessels available in the game, such as the Federation's iconic White Base, the standard Magellan battleship, and the Salamis cruiser, alongside Zeon's large Guadon battleship, the versatile Musai cruiser, and the heavy Chibe cruiser. Screenshots show some of these ships in action, and unit models from the game. Additionally, a dedicated column delves into the character of Giran Zabi, the overall commander of the Principality of Zeon. It describes his high intellect but cold personality and extreme ideology, even mentioning his father, Degwin Zabi, referred to him as Hitler's tail. The column touches upon Gifran's cold actions and his eventual demise, which is part of the game's narrative possibilities. A Zabi family tree is also included, outlining the main members like Degwin, Gifran, Dazzle, Garma, Caecilia, Sasro, and Minerva, along with notes on their fates. This page announces the exciting arrival of SD Gundam G Century S on the Sega Saturn. Following a long history of strategy simulation games in the SD Gundam series, this Saturn version is positioned as the culmination, bringing the popular franchise to a new level. The game is a turn-based tactical simulation, featuring super-deformed versions of mobile suits from across the Gundam universe engaging in strategic combat on a hex grid, as shown in one of the screenshots. The article highlights significant improvements for this release, including adjustments to the game balance, a drastic reduction in loading times to enhance playability, and the addition of new units. Notably, iconic mobile suits like Gundam XX and Mandara Gundam are confirmed to join the roster. Furthermore, new opening and ending sequences have been added, along with other power-up elements, leading the text to declare it a truly super version of the game. The page includes screenshots showcasing the tactical map and up-close battle scenes. It's a simulation game offering 1 to 4 player support and is recommended for all ages. This page delves into the extensive roster of forces available in SD Gundam G Century S, living up to the title, All Gundam Transcending the Boundaries of Eras and Works. It highlights a staggering 14 different armies that players can choose from, making the selection process difficult. The page showcases several key factions from the Gundam universe, including the Earth Federation, Principality of Zeon, Delaz Fleet, AEUG, Titans, Axis, Neo-Zeon, and Crossbone Vanguard. Each force is presented with a brief description of their history, characteristics, and notable mobile suits, accompanied by small screenshots showing some units on a grid map and their iconic crests. For instance, the Earth Federation boasts many main character units, while Zeon is characterized by diverse designs and mass-produced machines. Below, the article details the game's action battle system. Described as a chaotic character action battle, it features up to 7 units participating simultaneously. A unique aspect is that all surrounding characters join the fray. Players utilize weapons assigned to buttons, and for those less inclined towards action, an auto-battle option is available. The battle screenshot illustrates multiple SD units clashing in a dynamic environment, reflecting the game's expansive scope across various Gundam timelines as promised by the title. SD Gundam G Century S expands its Gundam universe roster, offering players the chance to command or encounter diverse factions. Key factions include London Bell with its Versus Gundam units, the mass-produced Zanskar Empire, the high-performance Shuffle Alliance battling the Devil Gundam, and the regenerating Devil Gundam Army led by Master Asia. Players can create a personalized team of up to 40 characters from over 200 mobile suits across various Gundam series. The game features faithfully reproduced weapons and signature attacks, from funnel attacks to the colony laser, complete with unique visuals. Battles take place on a strategic hex grid map. This page details the various gameplay modes available in SD Gundam G Century S, highlighting the diverse ways players can engage with the game. The core modes include Century Mode, a campaign where players train pilots and progress through 16 stages, emphasizing strategic combat and resource management for a rewarding ending. There's also Scenario Mode, which faithfully recreates iconic scenes from the original anime series. In this mode, units are predetermined, but players can choose either faction, offering a unique challenge to overcome historical odds with limited forces, and it can also be used for versus play. The page also features an interview with the producer, Mr. Ushimura, who discusses the development process. He mentions aiming to create a gameplay experience free from stress, improving enemy AI thinking speed using a dedicated GX chip, and significantly reducing CDROM loading times, particularly during unit production. He talks about the satisfaction of building upon a popular series like SD Gundam, and incorporating lessons learned from previous titles, confirming the game's system is based on the PlayStation's Big Century, but enhanced. Finally, there's a brief overview of the SD Gundam series' 10-year history, tracing its origins and evolution through various simulation titles on platforms like Super Famicom and PlayStation. The article positions SD Gundam G Century S as the latest step in this lineage, building on past successes and adding new elements, with the producer encouraging Saturn owners to experience the game. This page details the various gameplay modes available in SD Gundam G Century S, showcasing how versatile the game is for different playstyles. It highlights the Single Mode, a straightforward battle on one map, and the World Mode, which allows strategic movement between 3 different planetary and space maps. World Mode is emphasized for its detailed customization options, letting players adjust unit levels, money, and victory conditions, making it ideal for competitive versus matches where handicaps can even be applied. The page also introduces the action battle mode, which lets players jump directly into combat sequences, perfect for testing unit capabilities or trying out powerful mobile suits immediately. Furthermore, the game features a vast roster of over 150 pilots, including many famous characters from the original series who appear one after another. These pilots have different skill levels, affecting unit performance in battle, and ace pilots can even be assigned special mobile suits. An interview section continues with the producer, Mr. Ushimura, explaining why this game can be called Super. He discusses refinements aimed at stress-free gameplay and high replayability, comparing it favorably to past titles, and even his work on Gifren's Greed, noting this game is designed for easier enjoyment or multiplayer. Finally, there's an exciting recruitment announcement for players to submit their own original pilot names and battle dialogue lines for a chance to have them featured in the game. Baroque is an upcoming RPG that distinguishes itself from the genre's norms. Players assume the role of a young man with amnesia, exploring a constantly shifting, desolate world from a first-person perspective. Developed with input from artist Ryu Kito, the game emphasizes bizarre design. Key features include multi-layered storytelling where player actions reshape the game world, structural changes that alter environments and enemy placements, freedom to explore without strict objectives, immersive 3D environments, and real-time combat demanding strategic adaptation. The game's dark, industrial aesthetic, evident in screenshots, hints at the unsettling creatures and environments players will encounter, promising a unique and introspective gaming experience. This page continues the exploration of the upcoming RPG Baroque. It explains the game's setting. Earth warped by a mysterious, great heat wave. Players guide an amnesiac protagonist, burdened by a sinful consciousness, towards the Nerve Tower, the main dungeon, which is said to constantly change its structure. The world is inhabited by bizarre creatures called aberrations, with over 20 distinct types, such as the featured Ares, each possessing unique attacks. The protagonist is equipped with a weapon known as the Purifier, though its purpose might extend beyond simple destruction. A core mechanic highlighted is the item system. While items are essential for survival, their utility in Baroque is unconventional. The effect of an item isn't fixed. It changes depending on how it's used and the player's circumstances, tying directly into the game's theme of change. Furthermore, the placement of items within the dungeon is randomized with each playthrough, emphasizing strategic adaptation. Renders of various items, including the Purifier, a telescopic device, and a peculiar checkered box, are shown. The page confirms the game is a single-player RPG, planned for a 1997 release, currently 60% complete. Character and creature models are presented, alongside concept art for a unique vehicle, further illustrating the game's distinctive and unsettling aesthetic. This page delves deep into the unique and unsettling design of Baroque, focusing on the grotesque aberrations and the creative process behind them. It features an interview with E.G. Kito, the artist responsible for these bizarre creatures. The article highlights how the game design and the artwork mutually influenced each other, creating Baroque's distinctive aesthetic. Kito discusses his methods for generating ideas, which seem to involve a mix of structured design based on requests and spontaneous artistic impulse. He mentions sketching initially and then developing the concepts. Showcased are illustrations and physical models of several aberrations. We see the concept art for Ares, described as embodying the themes of the Great Heat Wave and sinful consciousness. Google's concept art is shown, noted for the challenge in capturing its difficult expression. Physical models are presented for Ratia, a creature conceptually linked to tangled roots in Japanese folk horror, with hands resembling whips, and Shin Monis, which spits strange fluid, attacks by draining life force, and has spider-like legs. The piece reinforces that Baroque's world, including the ever-changing Nerve Tower, is crafted with a deliberately bizarre and unique design sensibility that sets it apart from other games. The creation of these creatures is a meticulous process, sometimes involving detailed planning and other times relying on artistic freedom. This page continues exploring the distinctive art direction of Baroque, focusing on the incredible creature designs and the artists behind them. We see models created by E.G. Kito, whose profile is featured. Kito was previously involved with Treasure Hunter G's object design before contributing to Baroque. 3 of his sculpted models are shown: Jerome, Ares, and Sokonpo. The text describes the inspiration for Ares as an emperor image with large hands and feet, while Sokonpo's design was based on specific requests. Kido emphasizes the importance of designing with movement in mind, even for static models, as game characters need to feel dynamic. He shares his perspective on Baroque's world as dark, humid, perhaps feeling like being inside a womb, with creatures resembling pathogens. The page also introduces Inertia Pictures, a design studio based in Santa Monica, California, highlighting their significant contribution to Baroque's visual identity. Inertia handled CG and visual production, including the game's opening movie. They are noted for their work on Hollywood films and previous projects, like 17 and Tank Joe. A key design they created is the bizarre aberration Hananeep, showcased here with concept art and a detailed physical figure displayed at a game show, praised for its dynamic pose and intricate design reflecting its movements and attack methods. The next page introduces the Data East original Sega Saturn title, Dukoku Soshite, a character trap adventure slated for a February 1998 release. Recommended for players 18 and over, this single-player game traps the protagonist and several girls in a decaying mansion where bodies are piling up. The page highlights the game's core mechanic, the Trap Detect System, TDS, which the player must utilize to solve the elaborate traps blocking their path and save the girls. Amidst the horror, the protagonist must unravel the mystery of how they all became trapped. The article notes that unlike many 18-plus games of the time which were PC ports, this is a Saturn exclusive. Character illustrations are prominently featured, including a mysterious group of girls, a spirited pink-haired girl, the reserved maid Suzurin Shirakawa, and the logical chemistry teacher Marie Shina. The fate of the trapped individuals hinges on the player's ability to navigate and disarm the deadly traps. This page dives deeper into the gameplay mechanics of Dukoku Soshite, the character trap adventure. It highlights the core trap-divergent story concept, visually demonstrating how player actions lead to branching paths. The graphic shows that attempting an action results in either success or failure, and importantly, this significantly impacts the emotional state of the girls trapped with you. For instance, a successful action might make Itsumi happy and interested in you, while failure could make her furious and unwilling to even look at you. The text reinforces that solving the numerous traps set within the abandoned mansion is crucial for survival and escape, and the player's ability to perform precise actions determines success or failure, directly influencing the unfolding narrative and the relationships with the characters. Furthermore, the game boasts a luxurious cast of voice actors, bringing the characters to life. The page also includes illustrations of some key figures, like Hattori Itsumi and Norma Wendy, hinting at their roles and the perilous situation they find themselves in. This page focuses on the Sega Saturn version of Yuno, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world, highlighting the newly added animation sequences. Following the initial announcement of the port, more details about the animation part have been revealed, and the page shows some of the original cells and storyboards. The quality of the animation is praised, particularly how it enhances the sense of presence in various scenes and brings the character's emotions and movements to life. Several animation sketches of a character, likely the protagonist Takuya Arima based on the features, are displayed, showing different expressions and actions. A key visual shows a finished, colored animation still featuring Takuya and a red-haired character, emphasizing the final look of the animated sequences. A special report meter indicates the project is 70% complete. The article also notes that these animation sequences will be featured in promotional videos distributed in stores starting in early November, encouraging viewers to experience them firsthand. The page confirms the game's title, Yuno, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world, developed by Elf. It's listed for release on December 4th, at a price of 7,800 yen, on a 3-kdram set. The genre is identified as a multi-story system, ADMS game, recommended for ages 18 and over, and compatible with the Shuttle Mouse controller. This page delves deeper into the Sega Saturn version of Yuno, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world, focusing on the animated sequences that leverage the console's power. It highlights specific scenes and characters to showcase the game's production quality leading up to its December 4th release. One section titled, What Kana Saw Beyond Where She Looked, presents animation sketches and a colored still depicting Kanayuki's reaction to Takuya Arima's unexpected appearance while she is showering. The commentary praises how the animation effectively captures her flustered emotions and the scene's intensity. Another segment, Protagonist Takuya and the red-haired woman, what is their relationship?, focuses on the character Kana Hatano. It shows animation sketches of Kana interacting with Takuya, including a moment where she punches him. The article notes the impact of the animation and raises questions about their complex relationship and the reason behind the confrontation. Finally, a section titled, "What Does the Sharp Gaze Mean?" displays sketches of a character, likely Yuno, walking across a desolate landscape. The reviewer comments on the detailed animation of the flowing cape and the character's piercing gaze, stating that this single scene powerfully conveys a sense of strong will and purpose. The page emphasizes the game's animation and how it brings these key moments and characters to life. This page focuses on the accomplished voice actor lineup for the SEGA Saturn version of Yuno, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world. Following games like People of Nonomura Hospital and Classmates in featuring voice acting, Yuno's cast has been selected to expertly bring the characters to life. The article highlights 3 key characters and their voice actors. First is Ayumi Arima, voiced by Kikuko Inoue. Described as a gentle and nurturing woman, Inoue is considered a perfect match for Ayumi's calm demeanor, conveying her warmth. Her quote is, "Really, don't make me worry so much, okay?" Next is Eriko Takeda, the capable school nurse, played by Aya Hisakawa. Known for roles as cool and intelligent women, the article notes anticipation for how Hisakawa will portray Eriko's slightly tougher image. Her quote is, "You're not much help, are you?" Finally, Mio Shimazu, a talented and beautiful young lady, is voiced by Yumi Tuma. Tuma often plays strong characters, and the piece suggests she will skillfully express Mio's frustration and inability to be honest. Her quote is, "Oh, walking libido, long time no see." The selection of these skilled voice actors promises to enhance the charm of each character in the game. This page continues showcasing the talented voice cast assembled for the SEGA Saturn release of Yuno, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world. Featured here are more key characters and the skilled voice actors bringing them to life. Kanami Hatano, a mysterious girl known for enigmatic actions and words, is voiced by Yuka Imai. Her portrayal of Kanami's transparency is noted with anticipation. Her quote is, "You shouldn't come here too often, I think." Rei Ichiju, who shared a past flirting love with the protagonist Takuya, is played by Rei Sakuma. Known for her roles in titles like Gunbuster, Aim for the Top, Sakuma utilizes her experience to convey Rei's subtle distance and mature femininity. Sayaka Asakura, a sexy newscaster who delivers the nightly news, is voiced by Mieko Nemoto. The article highlights how she will skillfully express the multiple facets of Sayaka's personality. Furthermore, the page reveals significant news. The protagonist himself, Takuya, will receive voice acting, performed by Hisayoshi Ogura. This casting is expected to solidify the character's image and contribute to the story's full realization. Rounding out the character introductions are several other notable figures, including Kuzo Ryuzoji, CV Akio Otsuka, Masakatsu Yuki, CV Tetsu Iwanaga, Hidekazu Toyotomi, CV Shinichiro Miki, Kaoru Kitajo, CV Takeshi Aono, and Chinami Mashiro, CV Chinami Nishimura. The selection of these seasoned professionals emphasizes the commitment to delivering a rich audio experience for the game. This page features a special report on the game Princess Maker 3: Fairy Tales Come True, highlighting it as the origin of schedule management raising simulation games. The game allows players to raise a fairy girl from the age of 10 to 18. Players manage the girl's schedule by choosing activities like studying, working part-time, or resting, which affects her various stats and ultimately her future. While the fairy girl dreams of becoming a princess, the game emphasizes player freedom, allowing her to be raised into diverse professions like a skilled swordsman or a captivating singer, not strictly limiting the goal to achieving royalty. Screenshots display the game's interface, showing the schedule selection options, schedule, execute, shopping, change clothes, and the character's status screen with various parameters. Other scenes depict different activities, like school, work, and rest, accompanied by character dialogue. The report notes the game is from Gainax and is scheduled for a March '98 release on the SEGA Saturn. This page delves deeper into the features that make Princess Maker 3: Fairy Tales Come True a compelling simulation experience. A standout system is the father's occupation, which offers replayability. Choosing professions like merchant, retired knight, or artist impacts your starting funds, initial parameters for your daughter, and even the appearance of your home. fundamentally changing how you approach raising her. The SEGA Saturn version expands this, with a total of 6 distinct occupations, adding significant variety. Beyond the stats, the game captures the daughter's charm through a wide range of changing expressions. Her mood and status are reflected visually, from being happy on vacation to displaying traits like arrogance, being a delinquent, feigning sweetness, or feeling sick. These subtle changes add personality to her character. The game is further enriched by numerous events that occur throughout the 8 years of her growth. These include educational tests, encounters with rivals, visits from traveling merchants, and various spontaneous moments that color her daily life. The SEGA Saturn version introduces several exclusive new events, such as grand gatherings like a possible New Year's garden party where you might meet royalty, or festive celebrations like a harvest festival or cherry blossom festival, providing fresh experiences for players. This page features Startling Odyssey Blue Evolution, a role-playing game. It showcases several key characters from the game, with character art and descriptions, along with portraits of their voice actors. The main characters highlighted are Leon Sulford, described as a strong and kind young man, burdened by his destiny as a descendant of the warrior god Sulford, and Sophia R. Farina, who joins Leon on his journey and is willing to sacrifice her life for him. Also featured are Robin Sulford, Leon's father, Vern Celsium, a serious priest, and Rosetta H. Wing, a lively girl skilled in magic and sword fighting. The page includes screenshots showcasing different scenes from the game, including character interactions and dynamic battles. It mentions that this version is a remake of the PC Engine version, featuring revised scenarios and character settings, and is currently 30% complete. Startling Odyssey Blue Evolution is described as a full-age recommended title for one player. This page continues showcasing the characters of Startling Odyssey Blue Evolution. Featured here are Randy Garner, a top-class thief skilled with both arms and swords, described as someone who helps others, voiced by Wataru Takagi. Lilith Elizabeth is depicted with a serene expression, despite having a sword in her hand, her voice provided by Rei Sakuma. Zydek Zardine and Gala Iscariot are introduced as two of the enemy generals, their details shrouded in mystery, voiced by Yasunori Ishii and Kenyu Horiuchi respectively. We also see Selena Sulford, the princess of Sulford Kingdom and a master magic teacher, voiced by Yumi Tuduma. The page then delves into the history of the series, noting the original Startling Odyssey was released on PC Engine in 1993, followed by a second title on the same platform in 1994, which told the story of Leon's father. Following this, there's a section detailing the significant graphical upgrades for the SEGA Saturn version. Compared to the PC Engine title from 4 years prior, the graphics are described as considerably more beautiful, with battle scenes now visually represented. Comparison screenshots highlight the difference between the PC Engine and Saturn versions, showing the evolution in detail and visual fidelity. Finally, the page mentions the world of Startling Odyssey, expanding online via the Rayforce homepage. This website serves as a hub for fans to find various information, original illustrations, and materials. It's highlighted as a must-see resource, even featuring a text-only mode for those with slower internet connections. This page dives into Magic School Lunar, showcasing the game's opening and early stages. The top features animation stills, hinting at a mysterious prologue involving a dark cave and a man discovering a glowing orb, leading into the title sequence. The main body details the beginning of the adventure. After the dramatic opening, the scene shifts to a peaceful orchard in the middle of harvest season. We meet two main characters, Ellie, with red hair, and Lena, helping with the harvest. They encounter a lost old man who is looking for a nearby cave. Being helpful by nature, Ellie decides to guide him there with Lena. Upon reaching the cave, the old man is strangely impressed by it, while Lena is suspicious of his fascinations. Suddenly, the ground begins to shake. The bottom section introduces some of the unique teachers found at the academy. Featured are Ima, the nurse and healthcare teacher, Dades, the magic transformation teacher, Ayasin, who teaches combat and the true man's way, and Terina, the music teacher, known for being beautiful but outspoken. A special report highlights that development is nearly complete, and the game is ready for release. It mentions the game will feature many animation scenes, also seen in TV commercials. This RPG is a single-player experience. This page picks up right after the mysterious earthquake, delving into its potential cause, with animation still showing the dark figure and a glowing device from the opening. The text explains the man used a green orb on a strange tube in a cave, causing an eerie face to appear and the ground to shake violently. Following the quake, Ellie and Lena, along with the old man, find themselves on a beach. The ground shaking stops, and the old man reveals himself to be Old Man Glenn, a scout for the Magic Academy. He explains that their ability to fly is proof of their potential, hinting at their future at the Academy. The page then announces the beginning of Chapter 1 as the adventurers finally head to Iron Island. After arriving at Agido Shoal, the waiting area for the Magic Academy, Ellie and Lena try to socialize while waiting. Their wait is interrupted by a confrontation between some troublesome characters and another girl. Just as things escalate, a voice cries out that an island is coming. A large, strange island is seen moving towards the shore. This moving island is Iron Island, home to the Magic Academy, and it finally docks, extending a drawbridge to the land, allowing access. The page features in-game screenshots showing the characters arriving at the shoal, witnessing the island approach, and the island itself now connected by a bridge. This page introduces Arcana Strikes, a tactical card game developed by Takara and Red Company. It's highlighted as a notable title, partly due to the involvement of famous designers contributing card art and Toshihiko Takamizawa of the Alfie handling the sound production. The game follows a boy on a journey through a fantasy world seeking cards to restore peace. Core gameplay involves exploring floating continents, visiting dungeons, and engaging in battles against monsters using a diverse collection of cards. The game boasts over 300 types of cards across 10 categories, forming the basis of its strategic combat system, which offers varied outcomes depending on the cards used. A section specifically details monster cards, which are central to battle. These monsters level up and grow through combat, can be summoned to the battlefield, and have elemental attributes that interact with the terrain, adding a layer of strategy. The pages feature glimpses of the game world and combat through screenshots, showing exploration and battle preparations. Arcana Strikes was scheduled for a late December 1997 release. This page continues the deep dive into Arcana Strikes, focusing on the strategic core, the Arcana cards, and the flow of battle. It highlights the 22 legendary Arcana cards, each possessing powerful special effects crucial for success. Several examples are presented, such as the Mirror, which reflects damage, Death, which can instantly kill an enemy monster, and the Empress, which sacrifices a friendly monster to destroy an opposing one. Other cards, like the Wheel, provide utility like escaping dungeons, while Giant Bird can retrieve used cards, Loyalty cancels effects, Man inflicts HP damage, and Devil can seal enemy monster summons. The battle system is explained, emphasizing the random distribution of cards, adding a layer of unpredictability. Players use cards from their hand, which are then refilled from the deck. Opponents also summon monsters, making counter-summoning a key strategy, though card draw dictates availability. Winning battles by defeating the enemy leader earns experience points, allowing summoned monsters to grow. Furthermore, the page introduces elemental attributes like water, wind, earth, fire, and woman, explaining how selecting an attribute can dramatically alter the effect of certain Arcana cards. For example, water cards grant full HP recovery on water terrain but only 50% elsewhere. Screenshots illustrate the dynamic battle scenes and a character's status information. This page takes a deep dive into the player editing features of Let's Make a Soccer Club 2. It reveals the latest details on how managers can create custom players for their team. The process is broken down step by step, starting with setting the player's name and then moving to detailed facial customization, where you combine different parts like eyes, hair, nose, and even accessories. You can also choose how the player is referred to during commentary, select their nationality, including foreign options, and set physical details like height and blood type. Finally, you determine their starting position, which is crucial for their development within the club. The game appears to offer a comprehensive suite of tools to create unique and personalized players, allowing for significant depth in squad building. This page delves deeper into the custom player creation process in Let's Make a Soccer Club 2, revealing how a player's abilities are determined. The key is selecting 3 keywords from 9 different categories. The page shows examples of different keyword combinations and how they visually impact the player's stats on a radar chart, which represents core abilities like technique, intelligence, body, heart, and sense. The degree of reflection indicates how strongly the selected keywords influence the stats. A comprehensive list of keywords is provided, categorized by type, such as shoot, pass, dribble, defense, goalkeeper, intelligence and spirit, body, charm, and others. The expert analysis suggests paying close attention to the radar graph to see how different keyword choices shape the player. Furthermore, the page features breaking news about the new individual password system. Unlike the previous game where only full clubs could be transferred, Let's Make a Soccer Club 2 allows you to generate a password for a single edited player. This enables sharing and scouting individual custom players. You can even scout edited players created by friends into your game, though there's a standard limit of 3 edited players per club, with friend-scouted players not counting towards this cap. Screenshots demonstrate the password generation and input screens. The next page dives into the various events you'll encounter in Let's Make a Soccer Club 2. The game's closer adherence to the real J.League schedule means more off days, and the developers have filled these with numerous events, expanding on the previous title. These events range from common occurrences like a player's joining press conference and scout reports listing potential new signings, to unique situations that require specific conditions. You'll see your hometown grow and level up, potentially unlocking specialty shops or infrastructure like a new railway line, thanks to sponsors. Players can be sent abroad for training to improve, or even selected for TV commercials, boosting the club's popularity and recognition. However, not all events are positive. Contract termination with a sponsor due to violations is also a possibility. These diverse events add significant depth and life to the club management simulation, making each season feel more dynamic and rewarding, or occasionally challenging. The game encourages players to experience all these different scenarios. This page introduces the 4 original teams featured in Let's Make a Professional Baseball Team. While the game includes the 12 real-life professional teams, these 4 fictional teams offer players the chance to create a truly unique club. They are designed for those who want to build a team completely from scratch, distinct from the real world. The 4 teams are Dynamites, focused on explosive hitting power. They are built to feature a lineup full of powerful sluggers from top to bottom. Mosquitoes, characterized by their sticky, hard-to-shake defense and strategic hit-and-away tactics. Strengthening mobility and defense is key for this team. Jellyfish, embodying an elusive, unpredictable style of play. Their approach is to lull opponents into complacency before striking decisively. Hammerheads, a team built on individuality, designed to have pronounced strengths and weaknesses, allowing for a highly personalized approach to team building. The page also notes the game is a sports training simulation scheduled for release in winter 1997. Priced at 5,800 yen and includes a password feature for matches. It's certified by the Japan Professional Baseball 12-Team Association. Let's Make a Professional Baseball Team emphasizes the significance of staff in achieving success. The manager, coaches, and scouts are crucial for strategic in-game decisions, player development, and talent acquisition. The game allows for staff changes, letting players hire new personnel based on performance, age, or desired approach. Key staff positions include manager, field coach, pitching coach, domestic scout, and overseas scout, each with varying salaries. Selecting the right staff significantly impacts player growth and scouting success. Developers incorporated player feedback and real-world performance data, with salaries largely based on past achievements. This adds depth and realism to the baseball management simulation. This page continues the focus on team management in Let's Make a Professional Baseball Team, specifically discussing the vital roles of managers and coaches. It highlights the exciting feature of hiring legendary retired players, referred to as OBS, Old Boys or Alumni. The game includes a roster of 35 prominent OB players, many of whom were also featured in the baseball title, Pro Baseball Greatest 997 Make Miracle. These iconic players can be brought onto your staff, adding significant strategic options. The article gives examples like former star Tatsunori Hara as a potential manager, and Shigeru Kobayashi as a pitching coach. A list details these 35 legends, noting their career highlights, providing a rich pool of real-world talent to shape your team's leadership. Interviews with the game's designer and planner offer insight into game mechanics, such as players aging and retiring over the simulation's 30-year period, the process of hiring staff, and the game's balance between realistic simulation and accessible gameplay. They also tease upcoming details on player acquisition and contract management. This page dives into the world of All Japan Pro Wrestling featuring Virtua, showcasing some of the legendary wrestlers featured in the game. The game is presented as a versus fighting title, scheduled for release on October 23rd for 5,800 yen, supporting 12 players and recommended for all ages. The page highlights 3 top wrestlers: Mitsuharu Misawa, Toshiaki Kawada, and Jun Akiyama. Misawa, described as the Ace, is known for powerful elbow strikes, rolling attacks, and airborne moves like the flying body press, culminating in his devastating finisher, the Tiger Driver 91. Kawada is profiled for his intense, strike-heavy style, featuring vicious middle kicks, a devastating vertical drop powerbomb, and unique attacks like the run-up face kick. His finishing hold is the painful stretch plum. Jun Akiyama, part of the top group in AJPW, is showcased for his flashy techniques. Moves like the Exploder Suplex, Tope con Hilo, and a powerful jumping knee kick are featured. His finisher is the Blue Thunder Driver, a move with immense power that sends the opponent head first into the mat. The layout presents each wrestler with a portrait, a description of their style, and in-game screenshots demonstrating several of their signature moves. It's clear the game aims to capture the unique essence and moves of these iconic wrestlers, promising intense and realistic virtual wrestling action. This page continues the deep dive into the All Japan Pro Wrestling game, focusing on key wrestlers and the commentary aspect. We learn that the commentary is handled by Hirakawa, a familiar announcer from All Japan Pro Wrestling broadcasts on Nippon Television. Motion capture was used for the wrestlers' movements, and the commentary features varied lines depending on the situation, aiming for a realistic and exciting match atmosphere. Hirakawa himself comments on the recording process, noting the need to call the match based on the flow, while also reacting like a professional wrestling announcer, expressing satisfaction with the resulting realistic outcome. A page then showcases more legendary wrestlers. Stan Hansen, described as a veteran, is highlighted for his rough fighting style and powerful offense, including his signature horse riding punch, the devastating Western Lariat finisher, and the Texas Longhorn submission hold. Gary Albright, known for his amateur wrestling background, is featured for his powerful suplexes and holds, such as the Achilles tendon hold, waterwheel drop, and German suplex, emphasizing his incredible throwing ability. Finally, Jeff Jarrett is presented with his unique blend of wrestling and martial arts, showcasing moves like the rising hammer strike and the leaping dropkick, leading up to his impressive Splash Mountain finisher. The screenshots throughout illustrate these wrestlers and their signature techniques in the game. This page dives into the world of Nine Pen Man Maru, a 3D polygon action game based on the anime series. The page features the game's title screen, a dynamic gameplay screenshot showing a tall structure and floating platforms, and loading screens featuring various characters. The game stars Man Maru, a rabbit character, transitioning from his 2D world into full 3D environments. There's mention of the Genshin no Jutsu, a secret ninja technique that Manmaru has the potential to learn, despite his somewhat timid nature. A major highlight is the Voice of Nine Pen section, showcasing the voice cast from the anime who reprise their roles for the game. We see photos and comments from the actors for Manmaru, Haruna Ikezawa, Nenga, Jirota Kosugi, Tataro, Kappei Yamaguchi, and Tsunajiro, Tomokazu Seki. They express excitement about bringing the characters to life in the game and connect the game world closely to the anime. The game is described as a polygon action title suitable for a wide age range, focusing on one-player gameplay. This page delves further into the quirky 3D world of Nine Pen Manmaru, detailing gameplay mechanics and introducing more characters and voice talent. We learn about the items Manmaru can collect: coins, which grant an extra life when 100 are gathered, and lucky balls, special items with 5 different effects, like boosting jump power, speed, or recovering health. Their effect is determined by their color and mark. The page highlights that rivals appear, challenging Manmaru to reach the goal first, adding a competitive edge to the platforming. Screenshots showcase the variety of environments, including mountain fields with cloud balls, a goal area, and challenging areas with hazards and obstructive characters. Speaking of which, obstructive characters are introduced. Bumping into them causes damage. There are also descriptions of specific stages, featuring pitfalls and spike traps, emphasizing the need for caution. Basic controls are outlined, covering movement, jumping, grabbing, and throwing objects, and a special spinning jump. A large section features photos and comments from 5 more voice actors from the anime, reprising their roles in the game. Kanai Mika, playing Ranko, Nagashima Yuichi, playing Jisan, Uchikawa Rana, playing Kaede, Nagasawa Nao, playing Monjiru, and Matsuo Jinzo, playing Pulot. They share their impressions of their characters, and their excitement about the game, highlighting the unique personalities and challenges in voicing them for the game. Finally, there's a brief mention of a gift campaign offering signed shikishi message boards from the voice actors. This page shifts focus to the action-packed world of Saturn Bomberman Fight. Quote, a unique take on the classic Bomberman formula presented in a quarter-view perspective with varying terrain height. This installment promises a fresh gameplay experience never before seen in the series. The page details the fundamental actions available to Bomberman and the other 14 playable characters, noting that while these moves are universal, attributes like jump distance and dash speed differ between characters. The core mechanics highlighted are crucial for navigating the 3D arenas. First, there's the standard jump, essential for traversing elevated areas and skillfully dodging incoming bomb explosions. A well-timed jump also allows for throwing bombs further. Next is the mid-air flip, activated during a jump, which functions like a double jump, enabling access to even higher locations. Critically, this move can be used just before landing to evade lingering flames, adding a layer of technical aerial control to battles. The dash ability provides a quick burst of speed by double-tapping a direction, perfect for rapid repositioning, dodging, or grabbing items swiftly. Finally, a peculiar action is character riding, where players can jump onto an opponent's head and stand on them, although the strategic advantage of this maneuver is stated as yet unknown, adding a layer of mystery to the gameplay. Screenshots demonstrate each of these actions in the game's dynamic 3D environments. Saturn Bomberman Fight features a diverse offensive strategy centered around 6 bomb techniques. The core mechanic is classic bomb placement, the familiar action of dropping bombs that explode after a delay. Players can also throw bombs to stun opponents and force them to drop items, even detonating thrown bombs mid-air. The bomb kick sends bombs sliding along the ground, with the same stunning effect on impact. Bomb stacking leverages the 3D environment, creating cascading chain reactions and enabling access to higher areas. Special attacks include the Deca Bomb, a large radius explosion fueled by normal bomb usage, and the Super Deca Bomb, a more potent, wide-area blast. These various bomb techniques contribute significant strategic depth to the game's combat. Saturn Bomberman Fight introduces several gameplay enhancements beyond basic bomb types. Power-ups like Fire Up and Bomb Up provide temporary advantages. Mystery panels grant random effects, both positive and negative. The White Horse, a rideable character, boosts speed and fire immunity. Unique mechanics include eating bombs and the pressure bomb system, which activates when time runs out, replacing the older pressure blocks. A new mini-bomb system allows players to revive after being defeated by taking down an opponent while small. The game features 3 modes: story mode with character voiceovers and endings, battle mode supporting up to 4 players with savable records, and a survival mode challenging players to defeat waves of CPU opponents. This page features an interview with the director, Masato Shibata, and the illustrator director, Takehito Ikanuchi, discussing the charm and development of Saturn Bomberman Fight. They emphasize that this game is significantly different from previous Bomberman titles, starting with the goal of changing things up while focusing heavily on competitive play, based on feedback from the previous game, where most players engaged in multiplayer battles. They aim to make the game enjoyable, even with fewer players, and targeted a slightly older audience. The interview highlights changes, like the reduced number of items to enhance battle strategy, and the introduction of the exhilarating feeling of scattering soft blocks. Item appearance is tied to destroying blocks and defeating opponents. The game incorporates diverse techniques and strategies, promising new discoveries the more you play. The developers express hope that players will enjoy the game regardless of skill level, and simply have fun and laugh while playing. They also touch upon the new worldview, suggesting a departure from the traditional Bomberman setting. This page features a special report on the mystery of Tutankhamun, an adventure game set in Egypt, with a reported completion rate of 70%. This title is slated for release on November 20th, priced at 6,800 yen, and comes on a 2-disc CD-ROM set. The game is notably produced by renowned Egyptologist professor Sakuji Yoshimura, promising an authentic dive into the romance of archaeology as you work to unravel the mysteries of ancient Egypt. The narrative kicks off with the protagonist arriving in Cairo, having been invited by Professor Yoshimura himself. Gameplay is described as a fundamental adventure game where you explore scenes using a cursor. Progress requires interacting with the environment, solving puzzles, and advancing the story, with mini-games involving maps or items also featured. Screenshots showcase various locations, including bustling Cairo city with points of interest like the Egyptian Museum, a fortune-telling house, and an antique shop, as well as the Cairo Tower and historical ruins. Characters encountered include the fortune teller, an antique dealer, and a mysterious beauty at the Cairo Tower. Professor Yoshimura appears in-game to provide lectures about the archaeological sites. A significant highlight is the inclusion of real-life, precious footage filmed on location during extensive shooting in Egypt. This page details the adventure game, The Mystery of Tutankhamun. The protagonist begins in Cairo, chasing stolen documents. They travel to Luxor, ancient Thebes, seeking Professor Yoshimura's help. The journey includes a ferry trip and a visit to the Cairo Museum, where they feel drawn to Tutankhamun's golden mask. In Luxor, the protagonist meets Professor Yoshimura at an excavation site. The page hints at interactive elements through Welcome to Sakuji Yoshimura World. A major section explores the historical context of Tutankhamun and the curse of the pharaoh, explaining the discovery of his tomb and the mysterious events that followed. This historical backdrop sets the stage for the game's plot, with a preview suggesting a future encounter with a bearded scholar. This page features the Falcom Classics compilation for the Sega Saturn, bringing legendary RPG titles to the console. Included are 3 classic games from Nihon Falcom: Dragon Slayer, Xanadu, and YS. These are cornerstone titles that shaped the Japanese RPG landscape. The compilation boasts fully renewed graphics and background music across all 3 games, offering both original and Saturn modes for players to choose from. This is a fantastic package, essentially giving you 6 ways to experience these influential adventures. You see screenshots showcasing the gameplay of each title. Dragon Slayer is presented as an action RPG roots title with puzzle elements. Xanadu, described as a side-view RPG that was a massive hit on PC, features intricate map exploration and a focus on skills and magic, culminating in a confrontation with the Demon King. Wise is shown with its signature bump combat system and anime character art, highlighted as a masterpiece that set a new direction for Japanese RPGs. For those who pre-ordered, there were special bonuses, including an original poster and a limited edition 2-disc set featuring voice drama and illustrations. This compilation is a must-have for any Saturn owner looking to dive into the history of Japanese RPGs with these beautifully remastered classics. This page is a prominent advertisement for YSIN2 on the Sega Saturn, one of the classic titles included in the Falcom Classics compilation. The artwork features the iconic blue-haired heroines, Fina and Ria, front and center, setting a tone of fantasy and adventure. The text highlights YS as a masterpiece action RPG centered on the theme of kindness. It praises the game's expansive world, attractive characters, dramatic storyline, and the exciting combat, particularly the unique boss battles. Screenshots showcase the classic top-down action RPG perspective, character portraits, and some memorable locations from the game, like the lighthouse and a ship. As a bonus for purchasing, there was a promotional campaign offering a chance to win a figure of the goddess Fina, or an original Falcom Classics telephone card, adding extra value for dedicated fans of the series. Published by Victor, this release brought a foundational Japanese RPG experience to the Saturn. This page is an advertisement for Koei's SEGA Saturn word processor set, promoting the idea of using the console for more than just games by turning it into a creative tool for document and image editing. The headline invites users to transform their Saturn into a word processor and add photos for more fun. The set allows users to incorporate personal photos or even screenshots captured directly from games into documents, cards, and photo stickers. It highlights the ability to create personalized items like Christmas cards, original business cards, and popular photo stickers, all enhanced with images and text. The software includes clip art featuring characters from beloved titles like Tokimeki Memorial and Angelique, adding a familiar touch for gamers. The key component is the included color printer, usable not just with the Saturn, but also with a PC, and a video input terminal, enabling the capture of images from external video sources. This opens up possibilities for various creative projects beyond simple word processing, like making recipe books with photos of your cooking, or wardrobe lists with pictures of your clothes. The digital camera-compatible version of the upgrade kit is highlighted as being on sale for 16,800 yen, while the full set is priced at 36,800 yen. This represents a fascinating expansion of the Sega Saturn's capabilities into practical home computing tasks. This page features the Reader Contribution Corner, Let's Park Weekly, encouraging readers to aim for Contribution King. The intro notes the arrival of winter and the joy of being indoors with the Saturn and SEGA Saturn magazine. The submissions cover various topics, including gaming experiences and daily life. One reader recounts seeing a couple playing Virtua Fighter with characters like Sarah and Jackie, noting the girlfriend was a high-scoring skater supporting her boyfriend. Another submission discusses arcade experiences, mentioning battles in Virtua Fighter and Street Fighter II, and humorously describes the contributor as a loser dog's child affectionately. There's also a recurring theme around tamagoyaki, rolled omelet, with several contributors sharing their family's recipes and memories associated with this dish, exploring variations in sweetness and ingredients. One highlights the House of the Dead, noting how a girlfriend got scared but achieved a high score. This week's featured individualist submission showcases creative drawings related to paper cranes and SoftBank, alongside text inviting readers to submit their unique contributions and promising to publish them all. It's a lighthearted look at the community's diverse interests and gaming habits. The Manga Gallery presents humorous gaming-related strips with references to Sega and Atlas titles, plus a cascade mention. Saturn Users Plaza features reader discussions on various topics. A reader critiques the fairness of game rankings, while another suggests in-store Saturn demo areas near Purikura machines. Discussions also compare Sega's business moves to PlayStation, noting budget releases. A reader requests replacement game cases. Teach me Ima Show answers reader questions, from personal to culinary and character-related inquiries. Rumor Serious shares unconfirmed news about potential new games from Chunsoft and others, including a parody title and a twin-stick compatible game. A reader questionnaire about the magazine's favorite and least favorite sections is also announced. The next page features reader contributions covering various topics. The Club EMSG section includes letters discussing everything from learning English and obtaining a driving license to aspirations of becoming a game writer and personal anecdotes, including references to photos submitted to the magazine and a call for recruits for the Saturn Magazine Burning Ranger feature. The Black Soup Screamers area displays striking reader artwork, including a dynamic character drawing, a distinctive illustration of Sonic the Hedgehog submitted from Miyagi Prefecture, and other character sketches. The Gamer's Wisdom section offers practical advice from readers, such as a method for cleaning curry pots and tips for practicing fighting games at arcades, noting that venues without many versus cabinets are ideal for beginners. A Submission King section ranks contributors by points. The page is rounded out with a URL for the publisher's website. This page features a park gallery, showcasing reader-submitted artwork centered around the game Silhouette Mirage. Following the theme of reader contributions from the previous page, this gallery presents various interpretations of characters and concepts from the cult classic action RPG. We see several unique illustrations from contributors across Japan, each with a small comment reflecting their passion for the game. One piece is highlighted as this week's #1 submission, featuring a character striking a dynamic pose. The comments accompanying the art range from observations about specific characters or settings to personal anecdotes related to playing the game. There's also an information section detailing how readers can submit their own artwork or text contributions to the magazine, including guidelines on format and content. Finally, there's a note correcting an error from a previous issue regarding the game's sound testing feature and an announcement that the next gallery will focus on a mecha theme. It's clear the magazine fostered a strong community connection through these reader galleries. This page is a promotional page inviting customers to pre-order 2 highly anticipated 1998 calendars related to popular Sega Saturn titles: the Sakura Wars 1998 calendar and the Martian successor Nadesico 1998 calendar. The Sakura Wars calendar celebrates the massive success of the Sega Saturn game, featuring the entire Flower Division cast. You can expect to see the beloved heroines like Sakura Shinguji, Sumire Kanzaki, Kana Kirishima, and Iris Chateaubriand depicted in what's described as a must-have item for fans. The Martian successor Nadesico calendar follows the acclaimed TV anime and successful Sega Saturn game. This fan-awaited 1998 calendar showcases the unique characters from the series, including the iconic captain, Eureka Misumaru. Both calendars are a 2-size, feature 13 pages, including the cover, and are scheduled for release in late November. They are priced at 1,600 yen each before tax. The page strongly advises making an early reservation at a local bookstore due to expected high demand. The bottom section provides a cutout order form for customers to use for these reservations. The Digital Circus SEGA Saturn Tour is coming to Japan in late October and November, hitting Fukuoka, Hiroshima, Osaka, Nagoya, Sapporo, and Tokyo. Attendees can play upcoming games, win prizes, and experience a Bolshoi circus performance. Developer, Nagumo-kun, and team members will be present for discussions. Beyond the event, Sega provides several ways to stay informed. The Sega JoyJoy telephone offers weekly audio updates, and the Sega Fax Club provides detailed information via fax. Video fans can find the Sega Video Magazine and flash Sega Saturn VHS tapes, featuring gameplay footage of popular titles like Sonic R and Virtua Fighter Kids. Finally, the Sega Internet homepage features a new Entertainment City section for fan-created homepages. The URLs are provided. This issue of the Sega publication features several highlights. Jun Sinue's Jay's Guitar Shop column covers Eric Martin's solo work and Paul Gilbert's upcoming visits. Singer Ayano Abokone's new single Prism will be a TV theme, and she visited an especially guitar workshop. A personal column details birthday celebrations and Sega stage appearances. The Sega Public Relations Diary includes columns on the Digital Circus Tour, Take-chan's work life and mobile computer purchase, and Die Stroller de Hirano, discussing the Devil Summoner TV drama and Saturn Festa. Honey Hanatani critiques Japan's soccer team while also anticipating the new J-League Pro Soccer Club, O Sukuru. 2. Readers are encouraged to submit Saturn-themed postcards for a chance to win prizes. This page features a serialized novel from SEGA Saturn Magazine, based on the high-octane vertical shooter, Terra Diver, known as Tsukyu Gurentai in Japan. This is Chapter 6, titled The Well-Side Meeting Before the Storm. The story is based on an original concept by Rachel Ising and written by Yuichi Ishida. The introduction explains that the Sokurentai is a private defense force associated with a satellite launch contractor, taking on hazardous missions, and handling negotiations. The SF drama focuses on the three main pilots, Takayoshi Yatsuyubi, Ryota Kuri, and Rika Kunimura, and those around them. A recap of previous events reveals an attack on the company headquarters was thwarted by the Sokurentai, but now a terrorist group named Little Arse has seized Station Schweiz and taken hostages, including the company president. The Sokurentai is now launching an operation to rescue the hostages. This page continues the serialized novel based on the intense vertical shooter, Terra Diver. Following up on the events from the previous page, this section details a briefing session where the team, including Kunimura, Takemi, and Mikatsuki, are being updated by Yasuda on the situation at Station Schweiz and the enemy presence. They discuss a particular enemy weapon, identified as the Ryu Gakuzan, described as a large combat attack machine with distinctive arms resembling dragon heads, originally developed by the Chinese army, but deemed ineffective and scrapped before being surprisingly deployed in space. The dialogue highlights the team's reactions and assessments of this unexpected threat, and the tactical implications of the enemy holding the station. Below the narrative, there are character introductions for key figures in the story and the game's world. These include Kaoru Yatsuyubi, the 24-year-old leader of the JDF, possibly a unit within Sokurentai, described as having good looks and being popular, with notes on her personality and current circumstances. Ryota Kuri, a 19-year-old JDF member, and new recruit known for his excellent piloting skills and competitive spirit. Rika Kunimura, introduced as a pilot whose skills led her to transfer to the Sokurentai after an incident, emphasizing her capability. Finally, Satoru Omori, a 51-year-old individual identified as the leader of the environmental protection group, Little Arse, suggesting he is the antagonist behind the hostage situation. with a backstory of despair over human desires, leading him from military service to environmental terrorism. This page continues the serialized novel adaptation of the intense vertical shooter, Sokyu Gurentai, Terra Diver. Following the briefing from the previous page, the team, including Kunimura, Takemi, and Mikatsuki, receives an update from Yasuda regarding the takeover of a meeting place by the environmental group Little Arse, led by Satoru Omori. Yasuda shows them the criminal statement delivered by Omori, who infiltrated the meeting by posing as a company president. Omori calmly declares that the facility, identified as Schweiz, is under their control, and the hostages' fate depends on the company's response. Their main objective is to halt the Mars development plan. In response, Yasuda's 2nd Defense Section has moved to Station Kaisei 9, a vital logistics hub between orbital stations, deemed the ideal location to establish a command post and plan a rescue operation. The illustration depicts the team viewing Omori on a screen, which also shows a large spacecraft, likely Station Kaisei 9, or Schweiz itself. The text describes Omori's appearance, noting his commanding presence despite a somewhat gaunt look, reinforcing his role as the central antagonist of this scenario. This page continues the serialized novel adaptation of Terra Diver. The story progresses as Mikatsuki, Yasuda, and Kunimura discuss the demands made by the terrorist group led by Omori. The terrorists insist on the immediate halt of the Mars development project, stating they cannot release hostages until this is announced. Yasuda reveals the chairman is missing, having apparently gone for a drive 3 days prior, which frustrates Mikatsuki. The discussion touches on whether to accept the terrorists' terms, with Yasuda suggesting they use the offered concession. The page includes a to-be-continued marker, and a note clarifying the novel is fiction, unrelated to real people or events. Below the novel section is a message from Raising by Hitoshi Sakimoto from Raising Strategic Sound Engineering Department, responsible for composition and landmine removal in Terra Diver. He reflects on his youth frequenting old game centers, recalling the smoky atmosphere, and finding courage to enter. He shares a nostalgic memory of playing games with others, singing the theme from Gradius, and seeing someone tearing up over the name entry theme from a Senjo no Okami Wolf of the Battlefield/Commando game. He asks if readers have similar memories. His favorite games are listed as Crazy Ivan and Tenka. This page is a mail-order catalog from the Sega specialty shop, Santa, listing a wide array of software and peripherals for Sega Saturn, Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear, alongside comprehensive details on how to order and various payment methods. This page showcases the unique world of Story of the Seven Winds, also known as Nanatsu Kaze no Shima Monogatari. Featured prominently is a striking illustration of the creature named Neef, one of the mysterious companions from the game. The text explains that Neef is a grass mouse who lives near Drive Garoop's house. Unlike others, Neef is described as somewhat aloof and always floating in the sky, not clinging to the grass itself. He enjoys collecting names, and is always looking for a wonderful one, suggesting the name Neef might not be his true name. Graphic designer provides a comment, explaining how they initially drew Neef sideways, but changed the angle for a better look. They also mention the animation where Neef floats in the air, as he was initially thought to be a ground character. The overall piece highlights the game's development progress, the involvement of Keita Amemiya's original illustrations, and invites readers to experience the unique world and characters. This page dives into the world of game creation using Tokyo Disneyland Land, focusing specifically on designing enemies for a shooting game. It presents concepts around bringing enemies to life, starting with deriving bosses from the game's story and creating common enemies, mobs, based on the stages. The article emphasizes that while bosses should be impactful, either cool or cute, the design of mobs is equally crucial and often requires even more diverse concepts tailored to each stage. Featured artwork shows 2 striking catgirl characters, Kiyosumi and Runamita, identified as powerful and fierce enemy characters skilled in close-quarters combat. Screenshots showcase the game's interface for defining character movement patterns and other development parameters, highlighting the tools available to aspiring game designers. The page also includes a brief introduction to the crew behind this feature, outlining the roles of various contributors involved in planning, writing, illustration, and sound design. This page delves further into crafting games with Tokyo Disneyland Land, focusing on the intricate details of enemy design and implementation. It outlines the process of translating character concepts into pixel art, highlighting the importance of detail and visual appeal, while also managing memory constraints. The guide then moves on to defining enemy personality, which encompasses setting parameters like movement, speed, bullet patterns, and durability. It emphasizes the wide range of behavioral possibilities and the need for rigorous testing to fine-tune how enemies act within the game environment. Screenshots showcase the game's interface for character editing and behavior timing, alongside a test stage demonstrating enemies in action. The page also includes a call for users to submit their game creation experiences and a brief personal reflection on the life of a creative professional. This feature is announced to conclude in the next issue. This page presents Ronde, a simulation RPG released by Atlus for the Sega Saturn on October 30, 1997. Positioned as a reincarnating SRPG, it evolves systems from the Majin Tensei series, a spin-off of the acclaimed Shin Megami Tensei universe. The game features deep tactical combat combined with mechanics like conversing and forming contracts with demons, a unitization system, faction power struggles, weapon ceiling, and a new demon fusion system. It promises a branching multi-story narrative with multiple endings, influenced by player choices. The distinctive character designs are by popular manga artist Kazuaki Yanagisawa, contributing to the game's unique world. Visuals include a tactical map view, character portraits, and event scenes, showcasing a blend of strategy and narrative typical of Atlus's RPGs. The game was originally priced at 6,800 yen plus tax. This page features Devil Summoners, Soul Hackers, an RPG from Atlus, scheduled for release on the Sega Saturn in November of '97. Following in the footsteps of the previous Devil Summoner title, this game is part of the acclaimed Shin Megami Tensei universe. It's presented as a 2-disc Sega Saturn exclusive software title, priced at 6,800 yen plus tax. Soul Hackers keeps the core demon fusion and conversation systems that fans loved from the previous game, while also integrating the Vice system. The game introduces new functions centered around the iconic Gump device carried by Devil Summoners, including an install system, the ability to interrupt the game, and a new two-body fusion feature. A particularly intriguing addition is the Vision Quest system, which allows players to delve into the consciousness of others. The page features an image of the Gump device, small glimpses of gameplay through screenshots, and dynamic illustrations of key characters from the game. Vertical text on the side evokes the cyber mystery theme, referring to the souls of warriors floating in the graveyard of the cyberbrain. The bottom part of the page also briefly mentions promotions for a TV adaptation of the previous Devil Summoner game and a radio show. The next page delves into the character graphics production for the classic RPG Grandia. It introduces the demanding job of a dotter, the artist who painstakingly hand-draws pixel art dot by dot, emphasizing that this requires not only technical skill but also a deep connection to the characters. The development team focused their efforts primarily on bringing the world's inhabitants to life. Interviews highlight the work on the main party members. Meiko Wada discusses creating Justin's extensive animations, including his appearance in the demo, and ensuring his small pixel sprites conveyed warmth and expression. Motomitsu Kajiwara shares the challenges of animating the mascot characters Su and Pui, focusing on making them expressive and cute, and also mentions animating a difficult snake-like monster. He found it rewarding to see characters react when interacted with. Mitsuru Hashimoto talks about the effort dedicated to Fina, noting her striking combat movements and the focus on her silhouette and volume. He mentions a specific falling animation and her inclusion in the demo version. Each developer's section features an illustration of their character, examples of their pixel art sprites, and a photo of the artist. The sheer number of animation patterns created for the characters is noted, underscoring the scale of this detailed pixel artwork. This page continues the deep dive into Grandia's character graphics development, focusing on the work of several key artists responsible for specific characters. Masanori Koyama discusses the challenge of creating detailed pixel art for Gadwin, pushing beyond the simplified animation references and focusing on intricate elements like armor and cloth, even using a half-dot technique for detail. He also mentions working on dragon enemies with a limited color palette. Shingo Hayakawa talks about bringing Guido to life, emphasizing his unique rabbit-like form and the effort put into making his ears expressive and his animations comedic. Takayuki Hiramatsu reveals his enthusiasm for creating Rap, who he designed as a ninja character, and the adjustments needed to translate the original concept art into pixel form. He also briefly mentions working on Lean. Kazuya Suzuki shares his passion for Milda, highlighting her powerful yet feminine design and the detailed pixel art required to convey her strength and natural movement. The page concludes with a summary from development manager Masatoshi Izumi, who reinforces the concept of live dots and how the team's collaborative effort resulted in characters that feel truly alive and distinct, not just generic sprites. He encourages users to see how vibrant and sparkling the characters turned out. The page features illustrations and sprite examples for each character discussed, along with photos of the developers and a group shot of the team. This page is a vibrant promotional piece, highlighting the success and recent renewal of the weekly SEGA Saturn magazine and its sibling publication, Weekly Dengeki PlayStation. The SEGA Saturn magazine proudly declares its status as #1 thanks to you, emphasizing its release every Friday. The imagery showcases popular titles from the time, including character art from Super Robot Wars, F, Sentimental Graffiti, and the iconic Yuno, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world. Other featured games mentioned include fan favorites like Sakura Wars, the strategic depth of Shining Force, Two Eyes and Vandal Hearts, the fighting action of Street Fighter X plus Alpha, and the party fun of Saturn Bomberman Fight. Visually representing the magazine's refresh, 2 images depict a bowl of what looks like noodles before renewal and a significantly improved after renewal, cleverly illustrating the positive changes. The page also celebrates the success of Weekly Dengeki PlayStation, stating it's very popular, thanks to you, and displaying its cover featuring major releases such as Front Mission 2, Chocobo's Mysterious Dungeon, Parasite Eve, and the highly anticipated Resident Evil 2. Both publications express gratitude for reader support following their renewal, underscoring their commitment to delivering quality content to their respective audiences. The page is published by SoftBank, indicating their presence in the Japanese gaming magazine market. This page features a hypercolumn and free talk gallery. On the left we have Sakurai Tomo's Heart Message Volume 3. The voice actress and singer talks about her Autumn of Appetite, sharing her love for food. She mentions various culinary delights she's enjoyed, including Nagoya Tebasaki, Hokkaido Ikura, which she surprisingly isn't fond of raw but loves prepared, uni, ramen, and chahan. She also mentions attempting to make a dish called Dinner Banzai. The column is accompanied by a charming illustration of her eating. Below there's a brief information box about Tomo Sakurai's profile and upcoming events. The bottom half is dedicated to a comic strip column titled Takezumi's Random Notes No. 3, A Certain Day's Dai Senryaku. This strip humorously delves into the strategic wargame series Dai Senryaku. The focus is primarily on advanced strategic command for the Sega Saturn. The comic features characters in military attire discussing the game, noting its appeal, particularly the German military theme and the image of secret weapons. They compare it to the Mega Drive era entries, acknowledging that while it can be a bit tough, it's still a masterpiece. The comic also touches on details like the ending music, mentioning Lily Marlene, which is a notable feature in the World Advanced Strategic Command version depending on the country played. At the very bottom there are addresses for readers to send messages to the columnists. This page delves into the strategic depths of Black/Matrix, known in Japan as Zeldnarschild. Released on the Sega Saturn on September 25th. This simulation RPG is a single-player experience recommended for all ages, challenging players to unify the continent of Riguria. The page provides essential data for tackling the game's battles. It highlights that enemy appearances can vary between fixed encounters and scenarios where foes change depending on the map and your specific playthrough. The data presented here is intended to help players navigate these challenging encounters. A significant portion of the page is dedicated to the guild quests, offering a breakdown of available jobs. This large table lists quests by rank, from E up to S, detailing the potential rewards offered for successful completion and the types of enemies or objectives involved. Players can see the range of rewards for tasks like escorting units, subduing bandits, eliminating specific night orders or mercenary groups, and undertaking defensive missions. It's a vital resource for planning your missions and understanding the challenges and benefits of each quest. The next page continues the deep dive into Black/Matrix, picking up with the high-stakes Srank Guild quests. These missions offer significant rewards for tackling objectives like military revolutions, overthrowing rulers, capturing enemy capitals, and quelling rebellions. As expected for the highest rank, The opposition includes formidable forces like various knight orders, imperial armies, and even peasant rebellions, demanding strategic planning and execution. The main focus shifts to revealing the conditions required to achieve the good ending for several of the game's different faction routes. The page outlines specific requirements for the Fenrir Kingdom, Saxony Duchy, Estania Republic, Holy Rana Empire, Grand Kuru Kingdom, and Mirald Kingdom paths. These conditions often involve completing specific guild quests, referenced by their numbers from the list above, making particular choices during character interactions, or ensuring certain characters survive or are present at key points in the story. It's crucial information for players aiming for the best possible outcome in their chosen playthrough. This page presents a detailed data breakdown for the Tiergrufel mercenary group in Black/Matrix, a critical resource for players planning their strategies. The core of the page is a large table listing various characters within the mercenary group, providing essential information on their combat capabilities. For each character, the table shows their chosen unit type and rank, their current level, and key combat statistics including HP hit points, MP magic points, AT attack, DF defense, AG agility, Mr. magic resistance, MV movement, and CP command points. This kind of detailed stat overview is invaluable for assessing unit strengths, weaknesses, and potential roles in battle, complementing the strategic objectives and quest information detailed on the previous page. Knowing these exact numbers allows players to optimize their party setup for the challenging strength guild quests and effectively pursue the conditions required for the game's various ending paths. It's the kind of precise data hardcore players pore over to gain every possible advantage. This page delves deeper into the mechanics of Black/Matrix, providing crucial strategic data for players. It outlines the progression of unit types available to commanders, showing how units like the infantry's fighter can promote through Guardian to become the powerful Berserk at higher levels. Similar paths are shown for Lancer, Cavalry, Archer, Holy, and Dark unit lines. The page also includes essential tables detailing unit compatibility, indicating which unit types are strong against others and which are weak. Furthermore, it illustrates how different terrains affect unit performance, highlighting advantageous and disadvantageous environments for each unit type. There's also a table showing the movement costs for different unit formations, like cavalry or mixed units, across various terrain types, vital for planning tactical movement. Finally, the page lists special skills available for different weapon types, such as fists, swords, spears, and dual wielding. These lists include the skill name, MP cost, power, and learning cost, allowing players to understand the offensive capabilities of their units. A small note at the bottom hints at obtaining powerful armor like Dragon Mail after completing specific quests, linking the data to in-game progression and rewards. It's a comprehensive breakdown of the game's combat system, perfect for optimizing your forces. This page presents detailed city data and item lists for various locations within the tactical RPG Black/Matrix. For each city, such as Torunio, Gießen, Blauen, and others, the page outlines its culture level, the special skill associated with it, like dual wielding or specific weapon proficiencies, and the presence or absence of key facilities including a town, arena, residential area, houses, and a public square. Crucially, the page provides extensive lists of items available in each location, categorized into normal items, high-grade items, and magic items. These lists enumerate weapons like axes, swords, spears, and lances, various types of armor such as leather armor, breastplates and chainmails, and shields including kite and tower shields. Magic items include rings and protective charms. A notable section at the bottom provides specific game hints, explaining that certain powerful techniques, referred to as Steindalf's techniques, can be learned by completing specific quests, such as defeating Cortez, a difficulty B quest. It also clarifies that the dual wielding skill cannot be acquired through standard training methods. This data is vital for players looking to acquire specific gear and skills as they progress through the game's world. This guide expands upon the Black/Matrix city data. It details locations like Felden, Orthodox, and Rosef, each with a culture level and special skill. Information includes facility types, castle, arena, etc. Each location also features item lists. These lists are divided into normal and high-grade items, covering a range of RPG staples: weapons, axes, swords, spears, armor, shields, accessories, and consumables like gems and spices. Magic items, such as rings, Mega Ring, Power Ring, and amulets, Sun Amulet, Spirit Amulet, are also listed. Unique items like the ivory earring are also found. A final tip warns players against battlefield duels when unprepared, and stresses the strategic consequences of actions. This page serves as a comprehensive item encyclopedia for Black/Matrix, elaborating on the equipment and goods available within the game's world, likely expanding on the specific city lists from the previous page. It meticulously details various categories of items essential for adventuring. Players can find extensive lists covering a wide array of weaponry, including one-handed and two-handed swords, axes, and spears, each with their attack power, potential special effects, price, and a brief descriptive note. Defensive gear is also cataloged, featuring different types of armor, shields, and lighter clothing, detailing their defense bonuses and properties. Beyond standard equipment, the page dives into magic items. This section lists powerful accessories like rings and amulets that boost various character stats such as agility, attack, movement, and resistances. It also includes miscellaneous items like gems, artwork, and books, which serve as valuables or provide unique lore. Finally, a small tip highlights game mechanics related to guild missions, specific locations, and unique skills like the two-sword style, adding depth to the game's strategic elements. This guide provides strategic advice for Riguria Tayson, focusing on more than just combat. Effective unit formation is vital, emphasizing balanced troop types, healing magic, and class synergy. Prioritize cavalry for specific terrains and consider units with strong defense or attack modifiers. World interaction is crucial. Regularly visiting the guild provides information and mercenary options. Building guild rank is essential for unlocking better mercenaries. Hiring mercenaries is prioritized over equipment for duels. Shops and relationships offer benefits. Buying from shops can reveal powerful gear, and visiting cities repeatedly may trigger special events. Building rapport with NPCs like divas and shopkeepers unlocks additional content. Combat tactics involve using magic for quick damage, managing MP, and understanding the zone of control system for strategic maneuvers. Finally, the guide warns against appeasing too many factions and advises focusing on a chosen nation. Losing your capital restricts shop access, making acquiring legendary items beforehand essential. This page delves into the intense final stages of Dodonpachi, specifically tackling Stage 5 and the formidable boss. This guide concludes the series, emphasizing that beyond technique, determination and memorizing bullet patterns are crucial for success. It even suggests using a large screen TV to better navigate the dense bullet fields. Stage 5 is highlighted as a prime opportunity to accumulate bonus points. Key strategies include carefully navigating the stage layout, dealing with fixed gun emplacements and bombers, while ensuring you collect the valuable B bonuses, especially the clustered ones at the start. The guide warns about the fast, pink bullets from the large turrets, and suggests using normal bombs strategically to clear screens and collect more items. The final boss is a multi-layered challenge. Its attacks consist of normal shots, deploying bits, and missile barrages. The recommended approach for the normal shot patterns is to use normal bombs, as dodging the small gaps can be very difficult. For the bit and missile attacks, using your laser is advised, especially for the bombers that spawn from point 3, as destroying them with bombs prevents power-ups from appearing. Success against the boss requires understanding its different attack phases and reacting accordingly, noting that the bit locations can influence subsequent attacks. This guide details strategies for surviving the final stage and boss in Dodonpachi. Stage 6 features intense bullet patterns and enemy formations. Players must prioritize destroying threats like tanks and bomber formations, utilizing bombs strategically to navigate dense attacks. The final boss encounter involves multiple phases with complex bullet patterns, requiring precise movements and careful bomb usage. Mastering these patterns is crucial for survival. Beyond clearing the game, the guide highlights the importance of the scoring system. Maximizing the stage clear bonus by collecting items and achieving a Nomus clear is key for high scores. The Boss Slayer hit bonus also contributes significantly. Finally, the guide reveals the secret to accessing the second loop and the true final boss. Meeting specific criteria, such as minimizing misses and achieving a high score, unlocks this ultimate challenge for experienced players. This page is a reader survey postcard, designed to gather feedback for the magazine. It provides instructions on how to fill out the postcard, including examples for writing numbers clearly in the boxes. The survey asks readers about their demographics, such as gender, age, school or occupation, and how many SEGA Saturn software titles they own. It also inquires about their reading habits, specifically which computer game magazines they frequent, and what factors influence their purchase of strategy guides. The survey seeks opinions on the current issue's articles and asks readers to select articles they found most interesting or uninteresting from a provided list. Furthermore, it prompts readers to list SEGA Saturn hardware they currently own or plan to purchase, as well as future software titles they are interested in buying, referencing extensive lists of available and upcoming games. This type of feedback was crucial for magazines to understand their audience and tailor future content. This page is a promotional piece for the SEGA Saturn game. High School Countdown. The graduation ceremony is with you. School Uniform High School Countdown. From umedia/aroma. It prominently features a young woman in a classic Japanese school uniform, characteristic of the game's likely visual novel or dating simulation genre. The title suggests a focus on school life and the emotional journey leading up to graduation. The page announces the game was scheduled for release in spring 1998 on the SEGA Saturn. This page is an advertisement for the SEGA Saturn game Gevector, announcing that it is now on sale for 5,800 yen. The vertical tagline on the right proclaims, "The crimson body dashes through the void." The ad highlights the game's features, including its detailed graphics, high-speed action, explosive homing lasers, and intense bullet barrages that rain down like a deluge. It also points out the use of advanced techniques like point lighting and morphing to create an immersive experience. Below the large Gevector logo, there's some English text setting a dramatic tone about being the last hope and a critical mission. Multiple screenshots show different gameplay perspectives and environments. There is also an announcement for a special launch campaign where purchasers of the first production run receive a special name tag. The game is published by Soft Office. This page advertises 3 SEGA Saturn game publications. The first is a fan book for Miniskirt Police, including exclusive photos, behind-the-scenes details, interviews, and a strategy guide. The second focuses on the official guide for Graduation S, offering strategies for completing high-difficulty playthroughs and unlocking all game content, with event details, item lists, and character relationship tips. The final publication is the official guide for the RPG Soldnerchild, promising comprehensive strategies, game data, item lists, and special move details. Purchase information, including pricing, for all guides from SoftBank's publishing division and bookstores, is also provided. This page presents 2 distinct publications for fans. The top section highlights a comprehensive book dedicated to the classic Time Bokan anime series. Titled Time Bokan Complete Works, it covers every entry in the beloved franchise, including Time Bokan, Yatterman, Zendaman, Otasukeman, Yatodedaman, Ipatsuman, and Itadakiman. This, a 128-page volume, features detailed character and mechanical designs, interviews with the production staff, and includes valuable materials from Tatsunoko Production. It's presented as an essential guide for any fan of the series, available for 1,600 yen. The accompanying images showcase vibrant character art, dynamic mechanical designs, and scenes directly from the anime, reflecting the book's contents. Below this, the page advertises the White Diamond Perfect Guide for the popular romance RPG White Diamond, specifically for the Windows 95 version. This, a 128-page strategy book, provides comprehensive details, including settings for the 8 female characters, easy-to-follow walkthroughs utilizing flowcharts, and complete data on items and sub-scenarios. Priced at 1,800 yen, it is described as the ultimate guide for players seeking to fully complete the game. The imagery here includes character portraits and game screenshots, giving a glimpse into the RPG's world and characters. Both publications are from SoftBank, and the bottom provides contact information for their publishing division for inquiries. This page is dedicated to the ultimate guide for the tactical RPG masterpiece, Super Robot Wars F, on the SEGA Saturn. It's presented as a perfect guide, and is part of the SEGA Saturn Magazine books series from SoftBank. This, a 5-sized book, packs 136 pages of essential information, priced at 950 yen, and was scheduled for release on October 25. Described as the pinnacle strategy guide for the series' peak entry, it promises to help players conquer the game. The guide features detailed data on the myriad robots and pilots appearing in Super Robot Wars 5, comprehensive map strategies, in-depth data analysis, reference material, and additional insider tips. The vibrant cover art showcases an array of iconic mechs from various anime series featured in the game, including Gundam, Evangelion Unit 01, Mazinger Z, and Getter Robo, highlighting the game's massive crossover appeal. If you wanted to master Super Robot Wars fun back in the day, this was the book you needed in your hands. This page features a special article titled, Everyone's Robot, From Super Robots to Latest Technology. The text on the left serves as an introduction to this feature, discussing Japan's deep connection with robots from childhood, citing examples like watching Gundam on TV, Doraemon fulfilling dreams, and the current popularity of games like Super Robot Wars F. The author notes that, despite being accustomed to seeing robots in action, they were recently surprised by seeing a robot simply walking on TV, leading them to question their own definition of a robot. This introspection prompted the creation of this feature, which aims to explore the world of robots, starting from familiar anime and games, and progressing to the latest technological advancements. They even briefly touch upon Asimov's 3 laws of robotics as part of their initial investigation, though admitting they found the concepts a bit complex. Accompanying the text is a charming illustration depicting a park scene populated by various robots performing everyday tasks alongside humans. Labels identify these robots engaged in activities such as managing the park, greeting people, running a marathon, advertising, childcare, fishing in a fountain, acting as security guards, painting, and simply taking a stroll with a companion. It's a playful visualization of how robots might integrate into daily life, contrasting with the more action-oriented depictions often seen in media like Super Robot Wars. This page serves as the table of contents for the special feature, Everyone's Robot. A great introduction from, possibly referring to technology/logic or a specific concept like Rogi. Picking up from the previous page's introduction, this feature delves into the world of robots from various perspectives. The contents are divided into 5 sections. First, the Dreams section, P120121, explores the Japanese view of robots, focusing on how anthropomorphic heroes like Astro Boy and Mazinger Z shaped this perspective. It examines beloved robots across generations, classifying them into 3 fields. Next, Pleasure, P122123, looks at robots found in games, creating a catalog of robots that appear in familiar titles, which are often the most accessible form of robots for readers. Play, P125, discusses robots used for entertainment, using Sony's Aibo pet robot as an example to show how technology can be used for fun and exploring its appeal. Following that, Skill, P126127, highlights the current state of robot technology, featuring Honda's Peep2 humanoid robot, developed through extensive secret research. It prompts readers to consider the impact of this cutting-edge technology. Finally, the Soul section, P128129, delves into the aspirations of robot researchers, emphasizing that even the most advanced research is ultimately rooted in human dreams. It features passionate words from a leading figure in robot research. The page also includes an illustration by Nakamura Hisao. Overall, this contents page outlines a comprehensive exploration of robots, moving from fictional icons to real-world advancements, and the human element driving the research. This article explores the influence of anthropomorphic robots in Japanese culture, contrasting industrial robots with the beloved fictional friend-type robots prevalent in manga and anime. These creations, epitomized by Astro Boy and Doraemon, are deeply ingrained in Japanese consciousness. The friend-type robots are defined by their self-will, consciousness, and trustworthiness, making them aspirational companions. They represent a dream of friendship, special abilities, and the potential of non-human intelligence. The article examines why these robots are so popular, mentioning their impact in various anime and toy series, as well as their presence in the gaming world, such as the Super Robot Wars series. These robots embody the Japanese cultural fascination with friendly, reliable, and extraordinary companions. This page continues the exploration of popular robot types, shifting focus from the conscious friend-type robots to those operated by humans. Section 2 covers operated robots, highlighting giants like Tetsujin 28 Go, known internationally as Iron Man 28 or Gigantor, controlled remotely and representing immense, often destructive power. It notes, King Joe from Ultraman 7 uniquely realized the combining robot concept early on. Section 3 delves into vehicle type, or more accurately, weapon type robots. This category is the modern mainstream, emphasizing the pilot inside the robot. Mazinger Z exemplifies the sheer power wielded by the human operator, while Mobile Suit Gundam revolutionized the concept by portraying robots as realistic military weapons in a broader conflict. The article also points to the innovative transformation and combination logic seen in series like Combattler V, and mentions other notable examples of weaponized robots such as the Armored Troopers from Armored Trooper Votoms and the transformable Valkyries from Macross. This shift underscores the evolution of robot portrayals, from companions to powerful tools or war machines controlled by humans. This page delves into the world of robots as they appear in video games, noting their prevalence across various genres. Following up on the previous discussion of robot types, the article highlights how robots aren't confined to a single genre, but are found in action, simulation, and other game types. It mentions the long history of robot games in Japan, dating back to the early 80s and influenced by popular anime series. The page then introduces the first classification of robot games, the pilot type. This category includes games where the player directly controls the robot, often with the in-game depiction suggesting the player is inside or piloting the machine. Examples given include Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story, The Blue Destiny, a 3D shooting game putting you in the cockpit, and Cyber Troopers Virtualon, a popular 3D action game known for its fast-paced robot combat, featuring large artwork of the main robot, Temjin. Other examples discussed are Assault Suits Lanos 2, a 2D side-scrolling mech action game, and Gungriffon, the Eurasian Conflict, a 3D mech sim/shooter, known for its focus on realistic battlefield engagement. A small panel also muses whether Mega Man, controlled by the player but a sentient robot himself, could be considered part of this category. This page continues the exploration of robot games by presenting two further classifications. First is the Doctor type, where the player's ability to assemble or customize robots significantly impacts gameplay. Examples include the PC hit MechWarrior, which allows weapon grouping and customization, and Wolffang. Kuga 2001, a 2D shooter where altering robot parts is key. Carnage Heart is highlighted as a prime example, being a simulation game focused entirely on designing and programming a robot's behavior before battle. Ganbare Morikawa-kun 2 Gao, an AI training simulation game, also fits this category. Front Mission 2nd is mentioned as containing Doctor-type elements through its mech customization system. Next is the Commander type, characterized by the player directing multiple robot units, with tactical choices often influencing the story. Leading this category are titles like Super Robot Wars, F Final, a simulation RPG where players command iconic mechs from various anime. Power Dolls 2, a tactical SLG featuring a special female unit piloting robots, is another example. Even Neon Genesis Evangelion is classified here, as the player acts like a director, guiding the protagonist's actions. The adventure game's Second Impression is also grouped here, possibly due to the player's influence on character interactions and the branching story. Finally, an extra category, the Daddy Longlegs type, is introduced with Wonder Project J2, Koro Forest Josette. This game features indirect interaction, where the player acts as a guardian, educating and raising an artificial life form, providing a unique take on the player-robot relationship. The concept of robots, popularized by Carol Capex R.U.R. in 1920, built upon earlier ideas of artificial beings, with Mary Shelley's Frankenstein as a key precursor. Before the term robot, automatons, self-moving mechanical devices created for entertainment, existed, exemplified by Vaucanson's duck. These contrasted with modern industrial robots, like those pioneered by Engelberger and Duvall, which are now essential in manufacturing. The text highlights the human preference for humanoid robot forms, even at the expense of practicality, as demonstrated by the perception of traditional karakuri dolls. This inclination towards a human-like appearance influences robot acceptance and design. The piece concludes by hinting at cutting-edge robotics, showcasing illustrations like Asimov's I, Robot cover, and industrial applications, with Nissan's robot cited as a further example. This page continues the special feature on robots, focusing on entertaining robots with the headline, Special Feature, Everyone Loves Robots. It introduces a prototype pet robot developed by Sony as part of their entertainment business. The robot can perform over 50 different actions based on voice commands. It uses a central camera to recognize images and colors, allowing it to react to its environment, such as chasing a yellow ball if instructed that it likes yellow. The developers have implemented software to simulate behaviors like getting tired or sulking. A side panel describes the robot's simulated emotions, explaining how it reacts happily to gentle petting, but might sulk if poked roughly, demonstrating different responses based on interaction. The page also features an interview with Masahiro Fujita, a chief researcher at Sony's R&D laboratory. He discusses the concept of a pet robot, the challenges faced during development, and the future vision for this type of robot, including the goal of achieving natural conversation and even understanding jokes. The project is seen as a pioneering step in the new field of robot entertainment. The next page presents a fascinating look at the state of robot technology, with a focus on Honda's humanoid robot, Step 2, highlighted as a major advancement in achieving true bipedal walking. The article emphasizes the incredible difficulty of this task, often underestimated due to depictions in games and anime, and positions Top 2 as the pinnacle of current capabilities, the result of 11 years of dedicated development. Details are provided on the robot's structure and functions, showcasing its ability to walk on flat surfaces, navigate stairs both up and down with stability, push a cart, and even perform complex manipulations like turning a nut using a tool. Key technical specifications are mentioned, including its impressive 180 centimeters height, 210 kilograms weight, and 34 degrees of freedom across its legs, arms, and hands, allowing for sophisticated movement. Sensors like cameras and force sensors enable it to interact with its environment. While its top speed is a modest 2 kilometers per hour, the focus is clearly on stability and complex mobility rather than speed. The page uses detailed images to illustrate Top 2's various actions, demonstrating the robot's impressive capabilities in overcoming different terrains and performing practical tasks. This page features a look at the state of robot development through interviews with engineers from Honda. Building upon the previous page's discussion of the EP2 robot, the developers explain their rationale for creating a human-shaped robot, citing the need for it to navigate environments built for people. They highlight the challenges of achieving stable bipedal movement and discuss the evolution of their robots, from basic walkers to complex humanoids like the SEP2, capable of stairs and simple manipulation. The article introduces the successor to SAP2, named P3, emphasizing the critical goal of miniaturization. While P2 was impressive, at 180 centimeters tall and 210 kilograms, the developers recognized that a smaller, more human-scale robot around 140 centimeters, like the P3 appears to be, would be far less intimidating and better suited for integration into daily human life. Although details on SAP3's performance are still emerging, the shift in focus towards a more manageable size is seen as a key step in bringing these advanced robots out of isolated labs and into the public sphere. The interviews with Managing Director Kazuo Hirai and Research Lab Manager Masato Hirose underscore Honda's long-term vision for humanoid robots as valuable assistants in society. Professor Miura of Tokyo University shifted his focus from teaching robots complex tasks like kendama to studying insect-like robots. Initially frustrated by the lack of will in his kendama-playing robot, he sought to create machines that exhibited intentional behavior, even if based on simple reflexes. This led him to observe insects, interpreting their actions as a form of will. His research features miniature robots, including an ant-sized structure and a larger, multi-legged robot powered by motors and controlled by a computer. He also developed a micro-robot, using vibration for movement and steering. This minimalist approach to design and emergent behavior represents a unique perspective in the pursuit of creating machines that interact meaningfully with the world. The next page features an in-depth interview with Professor Hirofumi Miura from the University of Tokyo, focusing on his unique research into insectotype robots and why he continues to build them. Building on the previous discussion, he delves into the philosophical aspects of machine will and highlights the limitations of current AI in understanding simple concepts, contrasting this with the potential of simpler, reactive, insect-inspired designs. Professor Miura explains that while humanoid robots strive for complex human imitation, insect robots offer a different, perhaps more effective, path by leveraging simple reflexes and emergent behavior. He even experiments with hybrid robots incorporating actual insect parts. His work, initially purely research, eventually gained recognition for its fascinating, almost entertaining qualities. The editorial postscript mentions this feature was prompted by seeing Honda's Pep 2 robot on TV, and coincided perfectly with the recent release of Super Robot Wars 5 on Saturn, reflecting the high level of public interest in robots at the time. The editors found meeting researchers like Professor Miura to be a truly inspiring experience. This page features a special roundtable discussion celebrating the release of Super Robot Wars F, featuring key staff from both Winkysoft, the developer, and Banpresto, the publisher. The image shows the group seated around tables, presumably during the interview conducted by the magazine staff who visited Winkysoft in Osaka. The participants include the president and CEO of Winkysoft, the graphics/animation staff, the producer from Banpresto, and the general director from Winkysoft. They discuss the challenges faced during the development of Super Robot Wars F, noting the short development period, despite the game being a significant evolution from previous titles like Super Robot Wars 4 and Super Robot Wars X. The discussion highlights the increased content and changes from Super Robot Wars 4 as a major factor in the difficulty of hitting the deadline. They also touch upon their history with the Super Robot Wars series and how they approached this latest installment for both the Saturn and PlayStation platforms. This page continues the special roundtable discussion about the development of Super Robot Wars 5 with the staff from Winkysoft and Banpresto. The main image features a large group photo of the development team under the title, "These are the Super Robot Wars staff," taken in September 1997. The discussion delves into the technical challenges of porting from the Super Famicom to the Saturn, particularly regarding resolution differences and the need to redraw graphics and unit sprites. Staff members share anecdotes about the intense development schedule, including working extremely long hours, sleeping at the office, and the logistical difficulties of meeting deadlines, even involving last-minute dashes to deliver the final game master via Shinkansen. The developers featured and pictured are Mr. Makoto Sho, the program manager, Mr. Toru Abe, the graphics manager, and Mr. Kenichiro Matsumoto, the background CG manager, all from Winkysoft. The page concludes by announcing that the roundtable discussion will continue in the next issue. This page features the column, Around the Digiana World, by technology writer Kazutoshi Otani. This installment focuses on the Apple 20th Anniversary Macintosh, a limited edition computer released to commemorate Apple's 20th year. The author expresses his joy at finally receiving the unit. The article delves into the author's criteria for choosing products, emphasizing the importance of charm, design, and philosophy beyond mere functionality. He sees the 20th Anniversary Macintosh as a prime example of a product that excels as a desirable thing. He describes the unique design of the system, which resembles high-end audio equipment rather than a typical PC tower. The unit incorporates various materials like plastic, die-cast metal, fabric, and leather on the palm rest. The sound system was designed by Bose and includes dedicated speakers and a subwoofer, a notable feature for a computer at the time. The system is powered by a PowerPC 603E processor, running at 250 MHz. The article also includes images showcasing the distinctive appearance of the machine, its back panel with cooling fans, and the separate keyboard and trackpad. In a brief aside, the author mentions Sega and playfully suggests a limited edition Full Metal Saturn controller for their own anniversary, noting the passionate user base. This page serves as a comprehensive index to upcoming and recently released SEGA Saturn titles, directing readers to detailed coverage on subsequent pages. The dominant feature is a stunning fantasy illustration depicting a battle between adventurers and a large dragon, which is explicitly tied to the game Vandal Hearts, listed among the upcoming titles. The page highlights two main sections: new release titles and coming soon soft. The new release titles section covers games like Sega Ages, Columns Arcade Collection, Star Bowling Volume 2, Crows, the battle action for Sega Saturn, Suikoden, Tenmei Hayaku Hachisei, and various other Japanese-centric or niche titles such as Mahjong and art collection software. Coming soon soft section lists highly anticipated games, including Real Bout Fatal Fury Special, Cotton 2, Culdcept, Lost World, Jurassic Park, Raystorm, Layer Section 2, Tactical Fighter, Legend of the Galactic Heroes Plus, and Vector, in addition to Vandal Hearts. These sections act as a table of contents, promising in-depth previews and reviews on the pages that follow, giving Saturn fans a clear roadmap of exciting software on the horizon. The Sega Ages Columns Arcade Collection for Sega Saturn offers a definitive collection of the popular Columns series, featuring 4 distinct versions: the original Columns, Columns 2, Stack Columns, and Columns 97. This collection goes beyond simple ports, introducing features to enhance replayability, including the option growth system. Players earn jewels by clearing gems, unlocking special options and backgrounds as the jewel count rises. The collection also includes secret jewels, purely collectible items that require significant skill to obtain, potentially unlocking the staff roll. Each of the 8 jewels, tied to colors, represent different qualities. With classic gameplay and new challenges, this collection appeals to both nostalgic fans and puzzle enthusiasts. 3 Sega Saturn games are previewed. The Star Bowling Volume 2, Umedia Aroma, at 90% completion, adds new minigames, voice acting, customizable pin setups, and a 4-player versus mode. Pros: The Battle for Sega Saturn, Athena, also at 90% complete, is an action game based on the Crows manga, featuring simple combat mechanics. Finally, Suikoden, Tendo 108 stars, Koei, at 70% completion, is a strategy simulation based on the Water Margin novel. Players manage resources, recruit heroes, build facilities, engage in diplomacy, and lead expeditions to expand their influence. This page previews 2 games. First up is Lovely Pop 2 Inches 1, Yan and Koi Shimasho, combining 2 popular arcade titles, a Hanafuda game and a Mahjong game. It's presented with charming anime visuals, featuring 9 different characters. This isn't just a simple compilation though. It includes new anime sequences and endings, offering plenty of original content and free matches against the characters. The preview highlights the Viscous members who are featured in the game. Next is the Star Bowling, now at 100% completion, building on the concept from the previous page's Volume 2 preview. This game is perfect for fans of bowling and voice actors alike. It centers around a story mode where you can get friendly with popular voice actors. You select one of 5 voice actors as your partner for a 3-day bowling challenge. Beyond the story, there are training and versus modes, voice actor profiles, and a special pair match mode available after clearing the game, plus a bonus disc. The game features 5 specific voice actors you can interact with. The next page introduces 2 new art collection jigsaw puzzle games for the Sega Saturn, both featuring the work of acclaimed artists. First is the Christian Reese Lassen art collection. This game, now 100% complete, lets players enjoy beautiful jigsaw puzzles using 20 pieces of Lassen's signature ocean-themed artwork. Players can choose from 36, 72, or 108 puzzle pieces per image. Beyond the puzzles, the game includes a gallery mode to view completed art and even movies featuring the artist. There's also a convenient save function, so you can tackle these challenging puzzles at your own pace. The second game is the Thomas McKnight art collection, also complete at 100%. McKnight, famous for his vibrant scenes and creating Christmas cards for the Clintons, has 20 of his works featured here as jigsaw puzzles. For McKnight's collection, players can select from 72 or 108 puzzle pieces. An interesting touch is that the background music changes as you progress through the puzzles, adding to the sense of accomplishment. Like the Lassen title, it includes a gallery mode. As a bonus, purchasers were planned to receive an original postcard. Both games offer a relaxing way to appreciate beautiful art while solving puzzles, making them suitable for all ages. Real Bout Fatal Fury Special is coming to Sega Saturn, featuring legendary fighters battling to prove their strength. This version, known as RBS, promises to recreate the intense battles of the Fatal Fury series. The game will include new characters, an evolved line battle system, and confirmed screenshots from the Saturn version. The article introduces Tung Fu Rue, the Hakyoku Seiken master, and Cheng Sinzan, a Hong Kong promoter with a complex past, as examples of the diverse roster. Scheduled for release on December 25th by SNK, RBS will cost 5,800 yen, or 7,800 yen, with the expansion RAM cartridge, which is required. The developers are confident in the quality and enjoyability of this Saturn port, which is currently 60% complete. This page dives deeper into the core mechanics of Real Bout Fatal Fury Special on the Saturn, highlighting the series' signature line battle system. It explains how this unique 2D fighting game feature adds significant depth to combat, allowing for strategic movement between foreground and background lines for both offense and defense. Screenshots demonstrate the dynamic action and the visual distinction between the lines. The article also points out the Saturn version's extensive configuration options, which offer players more control over settings like difficulty, time, and even button layouts compared to the arcade version. This flexibility is noted as a great benefit, especially for newcomers to the series. Finally, the page introduces two more characters from the roster. Lawrence Blood, described as a fierce matador, and Wolfgang Krauser, portrayed as a formidable noble who views combat as a form of art, further showcasing the diverse lineup of fighters. This page details the tactical RPG Vandal Hearts, focusing on its progression up to Chapter 2, Ambition and the Island of Madness. The story summary outlines Ash Lambert, a commander investigating political corruption after encountering the supposedly captured Zu Gakas. This leads him and his companions to Gilbaris Island to search for the missing General Velrasco. The island itself is grim, hinting at tragedy. Chapter 2's battles are charted, including locations like Amis Village, where the party faces bloodthirsty villagers corrupted by mysterious statues. Screenshots show tactical combat on grid-based maps and character dialogue. A coming soon soft section reveals the game is 80% complete, slated for a November 27th release at 4,800 yen. It's a single-player simulation RPG recommended for all ages, with unique Saturn-exclusive elements planned. This page continues the coverage of the tactical RPG Vandal Hearts, picking up the story after Chapter 2 and detailing events and battles from Chapter 3, Ambition and the Island of Madness. Following up on the previous page's events, Ash Lambert and his companions investigate the ancient fortress ruins on Gilbaris Island to understand General Velrasco's transformation. The page outlines several key battles within Chapter 3, including those in Yggdra Valley and around the fortress ruins. As the party delves deeper, they confront Velrasco's loyal subordinates, Dolmen Galan, Amon Miguel, and Sarina Rao, whose profiles are also featured. These characters represent new obstacles in the search for the truth behind Velrasco's actions. Screenshots display scenes from the game's tactical grid-based combat and narrative dialogue moments. The story progresses to reveal the true purpose of Velrasco's expedition and the conspiracies orchestrated by Dolph. Despite being framed for treason, Ash resolves to save Velrasco, ultimately leading to a confrontation where Velrasco, freed from manipulation, embraces his demonic form once more, this time for justice. The page marks the conclusion of Chapter 3 and the transition into the next phase of the story. Chapter 3 of Vandal Hearts continues, detailing a dark age in Istitharia following Ash Lambert's disappearance. Hel Schweitzer, now Holy Imperator, dissolves Parliament and unleashes oppression, including the Crimson Unit led by his son, Kane. Meanwhile, Ash, Lad, and Selena, lost in a space-time distortion, meet a weakened General Velrasco, who entrusts Ash with his hopes before dying. They battle ghosts in a strange land, navigating key locations like Yelling Valley, Far End Village, Basil's Crossing, Lido Road, and Fortress Prison. In Far End Village, they meet Samdera, who explains how to return home by building a magic tower. This leads to a battle defending the tower. The page also introduces character profiles for Hel, Dolph Crowley, and Kane, illustrating their roles through tactical maps, dialogue, and screenshots of key battles. This page concludes Chapter 3 of Vandal Hearts, titled Rebellion, Escape to Tomorrow, detailing the anti-imperial forces rising up. After being lost in a space-time distortion, Ash and his companions return to find 3 years have passed in their world. The narrative follows Ash's reunion with the resistance at Basil's Crossing, Battle 16, learning about the state of Istitharia under Emperor Hel Schweitzer's oppressive rule. They plan to liberate innocent people and attack the formidable fortress prison. Key locations covered include Testa Village, Battle 15, likely where Ash returns and learns about the time skip, Lido Road, Battle 17, where they clash with the Crimson Unit leader Randor, and the fortress prison itself, Battles 18 and 19, focusing on a daring escape plan involving Keys and facing the prison warden Damon. Character profiles highlight Samdera, a hermit providing guidance, Zu Gaha, an imperial general encountered early on, and Tresinus Steinhoff, an inventor. The page also touches upon Lean's emotional state, and delves into the lore surrounding the powerful Flame of Judgment and the mysterious Magic Stone. With the fortress prison successfully breached, the chapter concludes, setting the stage for Chapter 4 as the rebellion gains momentum. This page features Cotton 2, Magical Night Dreams, a popular arcade shooting game making its way to the SEGA Saturn. 6 years after the previous installment, the gluttonous witch Cotton and her companion Apply return for more frantic shooting action. The game is described as being 95% complete and is scheduled for release on December 4th by Success for 5,800 yen. It supports up to 2 players simultaneously. The story centers around the Pumpkin Kingdom, located south of the Fairy Kingdom featured in the previous adventure. The kingdom relies on the magic of the national treasure, the willow, for peaceful days. However, the castle's attendant, Apply, seeking to fulfill her own desires, tries to steal the willow but loses it in a sudden whirlwind, getting transported to a forest outside the town with it. Now she must find it again. Featured characters include Cotton herself, a self-proclaimed genius witch who loves willow candy, Apply, the third princess of the Pumpkin Kingdom, and a strong-willed, overly confident 13-year-old magic user, Silk, a fairy who helps Cotton, and Needle, a hat serving the royal family for generations. A developer comment mentions the team is finishing up the game and hopes players will find their own way to enjoy the various gameplay possibilities. This page dives into the fundamental operations of Cotton 2, Magical Night Dreams, building on the previous game's foundation while introducing new mechanics. The core action, Shot, now has 3 distinct attributes: fire, ice, and wind, which you can switch by collecting colored crystals. These crystals are vital, also transforming into magic stones that power your magic attacks, consuming 1 stone per use for devastating effects, like calling a fire dragon or conjuring an ice barrage. A major new addition is the catch ability, letting you grab enemies and objects. You can then throw them or hold them for strategic advantage. Beyond basic actions, the game features varied actions to master. Command shots are powerful attacks triggered by specific directional inputs, offering specialized patterns like wide blasts or focused tornadoes. Another key technique is sealing, where you capture enemies using magic. The sealed enemy's behavior depends on your current shot attribute, creating tactical possibilities. Finally, chain reactions occur when sealed enemies explode, and chase shots, hitting a sealed enemy repeatedly, build up combos and points. Performing longer chase shots generates bubble willows, which are essential for recovering life, adding a crucial survival element to the high-score chasing. The page encourages players to get the hang of these diverse actions. This page showcases Culdicept from Omiya Soft, confirming its 100% completion status and an expected release date of October 30th, priced at 5,800 yen, supporting 1 to 4 players and recommended for all ages. The developer expresses excitement, noting they can finally play the game themselves and expect others, even magazine editors, to get hooked. Anticipation is building, with the release just around the corner. The magazine previews stages, introducing a new Culdicept appearing in the featured map, the Village of Extreme Cold, Kelder. This map is characterized by its many water terrain spaces, laid out as small circular areas linked together, and is inhabited by many water attribute creatures. The page introduces Miranda, a quiet girl who loves knitting but works with a focus on defense. She is presented as a formidable opponent in this stage, unlike previous foes, due to her challenging nature and frequent use of curse spells on land and creatures. Screenshots display her portrait and in-game sprite. Also highlighted is the newly appearing Holy Hall, a shop within the game where players can purchase charms. These charms are described as items whose value automatically increases as the value of your own terrain rises. Strategic buying and selling of charms can yield profit and boost your total magic power, making them a key element to utilize, especially by investing early in charms corresponding to area terrain. This Culdicept analysis explores strategic elements and introduces new opponents. Miranda, a defensive AI, disrupts gameplay with spells targeting territories and creatures, particularly focusing on water territories. The Tariot map, a ring-shaped landmass, emphasizes land chain creation through neutral spaces, alongside special locations like shrines. A new opponent, Zines, adds complexity to the 3-player match, demonstrating strong strategic land acquisition and territory leveling. O'Reilly, a farmer with earth attribute creatures, is also introduced. The article highlights effective strategies, recommending spells that target all creatures, and emphasizing the increasing importance of dispel spells to counter CPU effects in the late game. Zines poses the primary strategic challenge. This page dives into the Lost World, Jurassic Park, revealing new details as the release approaches. The game is confirmed to be 100% complete, scheduled for an October 23rd release as a solo-player action title, and recommended for all ages. A developer comment highlights the impressive 3D character models and animations, particularly noting the Trex's movement. The article finally confirms the full scope of the game's story and levels. Contrary to previous reports, there are exactly 5 levels, though the presence of branching paths means a single playthrough won't cover everything, encouraging replayability. The final level puts you in control of Sarah Harding, a paleontologist familiar from the film, exploring the mysteries she encounters. Gameplay controls shift depending on whether you play as a human or a dinosaur. Dinosaurs have unique abilities, and healing typically involves eating defeated enemies. Humans utilize weapons and items, with healing found as pickups. The effective use of the wire is crucial for human traversal, allowing access to areas safe from enemies. A gallery mode showcasing illustrations and development materials can be unlocked by clearing levels. Screenshots show the Trex in action and a human character using the wire. This page continues our look at the Lost World, Jurassic Park on SEGA Saturn, revealing details about 2 crucial levels that push towards the game's climax. First up is the Velociraptor level. After clearing the previous hunter stage, you take control of the agile raptor. While typically a pack hunter, this raptor operates solo in the game. You'll encounter your former human allies as enemies, and uncover hints about the mysterious engine corporations scattered throughout the environment. The page showcases gameplay screenshots of the raptor traversing the landscape and engaging enemies, including the hunter, Deinonychus, Pachycephalosaurus, Triceratops, and Euoplocephalus. Following that is the Tyrannosaurus Rex level. Here, the stage shifts closer to human territory, setting the scene for the story's peak. You command the mighty Trex, unleashing its raw power against foes. Screenshots show the Trex in action, featuring battles against humans armed with weapons, as well as other dinosaurs like the raptor, Stegosaurus, Triceratops, hunter, and even the powerful Allosaurus. The article notes that while the Trex is dominant, humans can inflict damage, emphasizing that retaliating by biting and eating is the natural and often necessary action for recovery. These levels clearly ramp up the challenge and highlight the unique playstyles of the different playable dinosaurs before heading into the game's final stretch. This page gives us a preview of Layer Section 2, the highly anticipated sequel to the classic arcade shooter, Layer Section, known internationally as Galactic Attack. The page highlights key moments from the latter part of the game, confirming the project is 100% complete and ready for its October 30th release at 5,800 yen, supporting 2 players simultaneously. To get a look at Stage 5, the Carthage base located in the Sicilia orbit. This area is characterized by navigation through asteroid fields and dense enemy formations, featuring shipbuilding blocks and large battleships, with powerful unmanned interceptor pods being a significant threat. The preview also showcases the boss, Genseric, described as a heavily armed defensive weapon with flight and high mobility forms, boasting multiple lasers, cannons, and guided missiles. The text emphasizes the increased difficulty in later stages, with many formidable enemies, making strategic use of the lock-on laser crucial for survival and high scores. A message from the developers expresses gratitude to Saturn users for their patience, promising a faithful arcade port packed with original elements. This article details 2 challenging stages from Galactic Attack. Layer Section 2. Stage 6 takes place in the Sicilia system capital, a city above the clouds, where intense air combat against numerous mechs is the focus. The boss, Alaric, is a transforming, heavily armed mech with a buster launcher, lasers, and hand cannon, requiring a strategic approach due to its varied attacks and durability. Stage 7 plunges into the Judah Central System within planet Sicilia, a heavily fortified area. The boss, Spartacus, is a massive defense system with laser turrets, missile launchers, and anti-air cannons. Its central body is the weak point, but approaching it is risky. The article hints that conquering Spartacus leads to the final stage. This page previews Tactical Fighter, a coming soon release for the SEGA Saturn. The game is a training simulation blended with fighting game elements, developed by Media Rings and set for release on October 16th for 6,800 yen. The core concept is to train a young girl into a formidable fighter. You play as the trainer for Hitomi, a 15-year-old girl whose father's dojo has been taken over, leading to his imprisonment. Hitomi seeks out a former teacher to learn how to save him. The gameplay revolves around managing a weekly schedule of activities like training, part-time jobs, seminars, and special move lessons, aiming to win a fighting tournament within 3 years. The results of your training and choices lead to various multi-endings, encouraging replay. The game features fighting game-style battles for tournaments and seminars, where strategic timing of special moves is key. There's also a variety of event scenes triggered by your actions and character parameters. Hitomi will encounter numerous rivals, voiced by a strong cast, including Yuri Shiratori, making it hard to meet everyone in a single playthrough. The page highlights Hitomi's personality, describing her as honest, but prone to sulking or acting rebellious. The developers express confidence that this unique mix of beautiful girl and fighting game simulation will satisfy a wide range of players, noting the game's pleasant humor throughout the text and events. This page continues the preview of the upcoming Sega Saturn title, Or to Hitomi no Yureshi Hazukashi Dusei Nikki. It details the unique blend of life simulation and fighting game, focusing on the player's role in training Hitomi over a 3-year period to win a martial arts tournament. The premise is simple. You, a martial arts master, take in 15-year-old Hitomi, whose father's dojo has been taken over. Your goal is to train her to reclaim it. The page highlights the progression over the 3 years, with charming illustrations, showing Hitomi's growth from a clumsy beginner to a confident fighter, along with slice-of-life events like her asking for shampoo or taking a beach vacation. Gameplay revolves around a weekly schedule where you assign training, part-time jobs, or special events. Training builds various parameters like strength and speed, and your choices influence Hitomi's personality and unlock new schedule options. For example, repeatedly jogging can trigger an encounter with a boxer, and defeating him unlocks boxing training. Another key feature is meal planning, which impacts how effectively training boosts stats, emphasizing the importance of balanced nutrition for a fighter. The game culminates in fighting game-style battles during tournaments and specific events. This looks like a deep simulation with a lot of charm and replayability due to the multiple endings. This page previews Legend of Galactic Heroes Plus, a powered-up version of the tactical simulation based on the renowned novel and OVA series. This Sega Saturn title brings significant enhancements over the original release. Key updates include a completely new opening movie, bringing fresh visuals to kick things off. Fans will be thrilled to hear that event scenes now feature full voice acting by the popular cast from the OVA series, adding a layer of immersion previously missing. The combat sequences have also been improved, with the integration of 3D battleship models, providing a more dynamic view of the fleet battles. Additionally, 4 new mini-scenarios have been added, offering fresh strategic challenges and stories for players to tackle. The game is a simulation, placing you in command in the vastness of space, requiring strategic planning and tactical execution, all while following the epic narrative of the series. It's scheduled for release on October 23rd, priced at 5,800 yen, designed for single players, and is recommended for all ages. With these additions, this Plus version looks like a definitive release for fans and newcomers looking to dive into the legendary conflict between the Galactic Empire and the Free Planets Alliance. This page delves deeper into the gameplay mechanics of Legend of Galactic Heroes Plus, focusing on the 2 distinct modes that make up the experience: strategy mode and tactical mode. The game is built around these 2 modes, which interact with each other. Strategy mode is where you manage your empire or alliance on a grand scale. This involves crucial tasks, like organizing your fleets, moving them across the vast star map towards enemy territory, recruiting new personnel, securing vital supplies, and gathering intel on star systems. A key objective here is conquering the enemy capital to achieve victory. The page shows a galactic map and various strategic data like economic status and fleet strength. When fleets engage in the same star system, the game transitions to tactical mode. This is a real-time battle simulation where your strategic preparations are put to the test. Here, you command your fleet in combat against the enemy. Formation and movement are critical in tactical mode, and the page highlights that battles unfold in real time. Personnel assigned to fleets, particularly commanders, also play a significant role in battle effectiveness. The game allows players to change tactical formations on the fly during battle, which is crucial for adapting to the situation. Screenshots showcase the tactical battle interface and fleet formations. The recruitment and arrangement of skilled personnel are emphasized as fundamental to success in both modes, as is setting appropriate fleet formations before heading into conflict. This page features a deep dive into the 3D shooting game, G.V, developed by SoftOffice and set for release on October 16th for 5,800 yen. This game plunges players into intense space battles against mysterious alien invaders known as the Organo, who are attacking Earth due to resource shortages on their home planet near Mars. The core gameplay revolves around piloting the small fighter craft, RG-74, equipped with both a normal shot and a powerful tracking laser. The game emphasizes strategic use of these weapons to destroy enemies while navigating dense bullet patterns in full polygon environments. A major highlight is the unique score attack system tied to the tracking laser. By locking onto multiple enemies simultaneously, players can achieve significantly higher scores upon their destruction, with the score multiplier increasing dramatically with each additional locked-on target, up to a maximum of 8 ships. The page also introduces the seal system, a tactical mechanic where positioning your ship above an enemy can not only grant bonus points, but also potentially negate their attacks. Mastery of this system is crucial for both survival and achieving high scores. Expect thrilling encounters with giant bosses, as teased by the title, Approaching Giant Boss. The page confirms the game is 100% complete and ready to deliver fast-paced, full 3D shooting action recommended for all ages. This page dives deeper into Gen War, known as G versus in Japan, highlighting its diverse environments and challenging modes. The game features 6 distinct stages ranging from lush forests and hostile alien worlds to the vastness of space, promising a varied experience that keeps players engaged. Each stage culminates in a unique boss battle, a one-on-one showdown that tests your piloting and combat skills after navigating waves of standard enemies. Your ship, the RG-74, is equipped with a crucial 3-level shield. Losing it means game over, though continues are available. Beyond the standard game, Gen War offers a dedicated score attack mode. This mode challenges players to achieve the highest possible score on each stage. Unlike the main game, taking hits won't end your run but will briefly incapacitate your ship, adding a strategic layer focused purely on maximizing points. Mastering techniques like targeting weak points and utilizing the lock-on laser system introduced on the previous page is key to climbing the scoreboards. The game tracks your progress per stage, recording your best scores in memory. Screenshots showcase the intense action across various landscapes and reveal the impressive designs of the first, second, and third bosses. This focus on both stage progression and score chasing adds significant replayability to Gen War. This page introduces a comprehensive strategy guide section dedicated to SEGA Saturn titles released after the console's initial launch. The goal is to provide players with helpful tips and strategies to enhance their gameplay experience. Featured prominently is artwork of Kasumi from Dead or Alive, a groundbreaking 3D fighting game on the system, which is also listed among the games covered in this guide. The guide promises coverage of several notable titles. These include the high-energy fighting game, Asuka, 120% Burning Fest, Limited, the aforementioned 3D fighter Dead or Alive, the popular 2D weapons fighter Samurai Showdown IV, Amakusa's Revenge, the compilation Street Fighter Collection featuring classic entries in the iconic fighting series, and the unique interactive sound novel, Real Sound, Kaze no Regret. The page lists the starting page number for each game's strategy section. The overall presentation features the section title prominently, with a metallic and circular pattern background, highlighting the games to come. This page continues the comprehensive strategy guide introduced on the previous page, diving into Asuka, 120% Burning Fest, Limited. The focus here is on navigating the game's story mode, specifically highlighting strategies for 5 of the characters. The guide notes that unlike the PlayStation version, the Saturn released streamlined story mode to focus purely on character narratives, removing the adventure elements. Key general strategies covered include the effectiveness of repeatedly using crouching weak attacks to keep pressure on a downed opponent, utilizing jump attacks with varied trajectories like double jumps, and mastering guard cancels to punish the Creepu's multi-hit special moves. The page also profiles Asuka Honda, describing her as a balanced character and a good choice for beginners, highlighting her core special moves like Enshin Hasai Ken, Projectile, and Phenomenon Crush, Charge Attack. The story mode strategy section suggests using a mix of jump attacks, follow-up combos, and projectiles to control space and damage opponents. There's also a list detailing the opponents faced by the featured characters in story mode, and a demonstration of a fundamental combo. Finally, the guide breaks down the Kripu's behavior when fighting Asuka, noting how her tactics change with difficulty, adding throws and more complex combos on higher settings. Guarding and counterattacking are presented as a reliable defense against her. This page continues the comprehensive strategy guide for Asuka, 120% Burning Fest. Limited, focusing on 2 more characters. First up is Kumi Okubo, characterized by her long reach despite having low attack power, making her a strong zoning character. Her special moves, particularly the ribbon cutter, are highlighted as effective tools for controlling space. The story mode strategy for Kumi involves utilizing jump attacks and the spinning swan kick from the air. Against the CPU Kumi, the key is to guard against her tricky dash attacks and the ribbon cutter, then counterattack, especially when her burning gauge is full, as she will unleash multiple ribbon slicers. Guarding and patiently counterattacking her specials is recommended. Next is Nana Kawada, described as one of the characters with the shortest reach. To compensate, her strategy relies on powerful special moves, like the Raging Dragon Wave projectile and the Young Bull Dance charge attack. The guide notes that the Wind Moon fan item, while weak, is useful for keeping opponents away. In story mode, Nana excels by linking jump attacks and using air control, particularly double jumps or high jumps, to overcome her reach disadvantage. Against the CPU Nana, watch out for her dash attacks and crouching attacks followed by combos. Guard canceling is essential to punish her offense. The Raging Dragon Wave is her main threat when fighting the CPU. The page includes screenshots illustrating key moves and combat situations for both characters and lists their respective story mode opponents. This guide focuses on strategy for 2 fighters in Asuka 120% Burning Fest. Limited, Megumi Suzuki and Ryuko Yamasaki. Megumi, a fast character, relies on mobility and dash attacks. To overcome her short reach, utilize special moves and maintain pressure after connecting hits. In story mode, balance jump attacks with the Flying Bonbon attack. Against the CPU, guard her combos and punish her final special. Ryuko, a powerful but slower character, utilizes special moves and high attack power to compensate for limited range. Link moves together and use her Dragon Wave and Quick Driver effectively. Her Hyper Tackle is a powerful 2-hit move. In story mode, capitalize on Quick Driver after multiple hits. Against the CPU Ryuko, guard the first hit of Hyper Tackle and punish. The guide includes visual aids for both characters. This page delves into advanced strategies for Dead or Alive, focusing specifically on utilizing danger zones for high damage combos. It highlights how throws and offensive holds can be key initiators if they launch the opponent into a danger zone and the recovery time is short enough to follow up with an air combo. A flowchart visually explains this critical timing element. The page then provides strategic breakdowns for 8 characters: Kasumi, Genfu, Ryu Hayabusa, Lei Fang, Zack, Tina, Yan Li, and Bayman. For each character, it lists several key techniques and indicates what moves or combos can follow them up effectively. Notably, it points out that Zack's Wild Throw can be used to specifically push opponents into danger zones, and that Tina's Hip Throw deals significant damage when used after certain attacks. The guide emphasizes the importance of focusing on danger zone interactions for maximum damage output. This page focuses on the crucial defensive mechanic in Dead or Alive: defensive holds. It breaks down defensive holds into classifications based on the opponent's attack type: high, mid-punch kick, mid-kick, low-punch kick, and the effect after the hold: stun, break, damage, evade, counter. The guide then explains the strategic options available immediately after successfully executing a defensive hold. These typically involve throws, direct attacks for damage, or performing the unique evade/counter move. The evade/counter is highlighted as a special technique, particularly effective against certain moves like Kasumi and Hayabusa's Izuna drop or Bayman's shoulder tackle, as it causes your character to automatically circle behind the opponent. The success and recovery time after a DH depend heavily on the opponent's subsequent action. A section is dedicated to helping players struggling against the CPU AI, which is noted as being quite difficult, especially due to the Kripu's effectiveness against normal attacks and defensive holds. It suggests specific, high-probability patterns for victory, emphasizing that these may require adaptation for different characters. 2 example patterns are provided. Pattern A for characters like Zack and Yan Li often starting with an offensive hold or jump punch, and pattern B for Tina and Regato, primarily using the jump kick. Screenshots show characters executing these different techniques in matchups, like Zack vs. Lei Feng, Hayabusa vs. Yan Li, and Tina vs. Regato. The page concludes by mentioning that the following pages will detail basic tactics and defensive hold follow-ups for individual characters. This guide details character-specific tactics for Dead or Alive, focusing on Kasumi and Lei Feng. Kasumi relies on speed and diverse attacks. The guide advises mixing basic attacks, offensive holds, Yang Flame, Flying Swallow, throws, Shadow Law, Netherworld Commander, and single strikes. Fast high attacks and her Mistblade counter are highlighted. Follow-ups after defensive holds, Claw Sweep, Flowing Blade, are explained, with the Moon Wheel leg suggested for consistency. Lei Feng's section centers on strong defensive holds. The strategy emphasizes delayed chain throws, baiting, and punishing opponents with DHS, dash shoulder stroke, chain great angler, for significant damage. Low attacks are used as finishers. Recommended throws include basic options and chain rising mountain stance, potentially leading to crouching tiger returning mountain. After a successful hold, air combos, hitting knockdown opponents, and guaranteed back throws are viable. This guide explores strategies for Tina and Yan Li in Dead or Alive. Tina, a wrestler, excels with high damage throws and overheads. The guide emphasizes using strikes to open opponents for throws, including punishing successful defensive holds with quick strikes followed by throws. Key moves include targeting tackles and the powerful giant swing, with the Japanese ocean bomb throw favored against low attacks. Yan Li, a striking-focused fighter, struggles with throws, making him vulnerable to defensive holds. The guide suggests varying strike timings to counter this. While weak, the bulldog headlock can work against less skilled opponents. Against better players, counter-knuckle into strikes is preferred. The shoulder throw is recommended if a throw is needed. After a defensive hold, counter uppercut after a mid-kick hold sets up air combos, while a guaranteed high shin kick after a low hold allows for devastating attacks. This guide details strategies for Dead or Alive characters Ryu Hayabusa and Bayman. Ryu, a balanced character, excels through throws, especially the Izuna drop, which inflicts significant damage and enables further combos. The guide advises anticipating opponent movements to set up throws and punish stuns. Alternative high-damage throws like headlock and thunderfall are suggested. Post-defensive hold play focuses on secure breaks or risky high-damage throws, like the Izuna drop. Bayman relies on versatile mid-level attacks and throws to control the opponent. Delaying attack timings disrupts defensive hold attempts. The standing arm lock is recommended after low attacks, proving effective against guarding opponents. For throws, the windmill backbreaker, followed by a stomp, is highlighted, with the pectoral crosshold as an alternative. This page delves into strategies for two more fighters in Dead or Alive, Genfu and Zack. For Genfu, the guide notes his relatively slow standing punch, emphasizing the use of mid and low attacks that duck under opponent strikes to control the pace. After throws, quickly closing distance is advised. Recommended offensive holds include the high damage, albeit risky, monkey form and enteiing for air combos in the danger zone. Easy throws like Sinyiba are good, but the primary target is Yunkai Ryueba or Genkai Senhuangsuo, followed by mid-attacks or offensive holds. Post-defensive hold, specific moves are suggested based on the opponent's attack type. Zack's strength lies not in powerful single hits, but in relentless pressure, with numerous attacks. His low attacks are slow and vulnerable to opponent defensive holds. The guide highlights the importance of using throws and offensive holds in combination to counter opponent defensive holds. The Tikao Cone offensive hold is recommended for its speed and damage. Beast Fang is a standard high-damage throw, while Gokao Tikao is preferred in the danger zone for explosive damage. After a defensive hold, returning mid-kicks with knee counter can lead to air combos via Cowroy. Punch-through allows Zack to evade low punches and get behind the opponent, guaranteeing a Cowroy and potential air combo from a counter hit, making it a highly recommended defensive move. This page dives into the world of Samurai Showdown 2 Eyes, offering essential techniques and character-specific strategies for competitive play. Kicking off the first in a three-part series, it begins with fundamental tips for versus battles, covering crucial mechanics like preemptive input to execute moves the moment you recover, landing cancels to reduce vulnerability after jumps, dash guard breaks for offensive pressure, and cancel evasion techniques to reposition defensively. The guide then focuses on individual fighters, starting with the powerful Haomaru. He's described as a straightforward, offensive character whose main strategy involves relentless close-range pressure, using standing slashes and dash attacks, controlling space with his cyclone slash to anti-air opponents, and cornering them for continuous combos and guard breaks. His different styles offer versatility, particularly Rasetsu for its distinct approach. Next up is Rimuru. Presented as a character who compensates for lack of raw power with strategic play and the use of ice techniques. Her strength lies in clever positioning and capitalizing on opponent mistakes rather than direct confrontation. Key moves like her ice projectiles, Kanruru Shirar, and anti-air ice spikes, Kanruru Nan, are highlighted as core tools for controlling the fight, forcing guard breaks, and setting up continuous pressure, especially when her rage gauge is full. Mastering guard break combos is noted as crucial for her success. This page continues the in-depth guide for Samurai Shodown 2, focusing on strategies for Tam Tam, Yagyujube, Kazama Sogetsu, and Charlotte. Tam Tam excels at controlling distance with his long reach, keeping opponents at bay with standing slashes, and using dash attacks to break guards up close. Specific special moves like Ahau Gaburu and Mura Gaburu are key tools, while his Rasetsu style's aerial strong slash is highlighted for punishing jumpers, as seen in the screenshots. Yagyujube's strength lies in strategic use of his water moon blade. The guide details how his Shura style utilizes mid-range control and anti-air techniques, while his Rasetsu style applies offensive pressure by using the blade to capitalize on opponents' anticipating body attacks. Screenshots demonstrate his use of the water moon blade. Kazama Sogetsu's approach varies significantly between styles. His Shura style focuses on mixing up projectile attacks like Ukiodori and Tsukikage to pressure and break guards, setting up devastating combos like his 14-hit sequence shown. His Rasetsu style employs a trickier zoning game with the full moon, Engetsu, projectile, allowing for mix-ups and pressure after jumps. Finally, Charlotte is analyzed for her dominant reach advantage. Players should leverage her standing slashes and dash attacks for control and pressure. Her Splash Fanto is noted as a crucial move for defense against aerial assaults and creating opportunities. Efficient dash guard breaking is essential to her success. The page includes screenshots illustrating her key techniques, such as Splash Fanto. This page presents a comprehensive guide for Street Fighter collection on Sega Saturn, delving into character performance and fighting styles. It categorizes the cast into 3 primary tendencies: weight, defensive, counter, adaptive, high difficulty, and offensive, aggressive. A visual chart illustrates where each character falls within these styles, highlighting the higher difficulty associated with the counter and weight approaches. The guide then provides specific tactical advice for each fighter. For example, Ryu is presented as a versatile character, Ken as an adaptable aggressor, Chun-Li focusing on pressure with fast normals, Dalsim controlling space with projectiles, Zangief aiming to close distance for throws, and Akuma, Guki, utilizing his unique moves including the Raging Demon. The aim is to give players a foundational understanding of each character's strengths and suggested battle approaches. This page shifts focus from character overviews to the tactical metagame in fighting games, specifically highlighting potential issues with rigid adherence to established strategies. It points out that while theory is useful, becoming predictable makes you easy prey for advanced players, and relying solely on set patterns leaves you vulnerable when chaos breaks out. The guide then dives into fundamental matchplay concepts, illustrated with screenshots from Street Fighter Alpha 2. It covers techniques for punishing opponents' defensive pokes, breaking down common offensive patterns, and actively inviting counterattacks to create openings. A significant portion is dedicated to the crucial wake-up game, detailing strategies for both attacking downed opponents with cross-ups and pressure, and defending effectively upon rising, including using invincible moves or carefully positioning yourself out of range. This page offers crucial insights into deeper strategic thinking, beyond just knowing move lists. This page announces the results of the illustration contest held for the game Real Sound, Regret of the Wind. It highlights the selection process, overseen by the game's director, Kenji Ino, and features several winning entries displayed throughout the page. The judging considered all submissions, including those featured in previous intermediate announcements. Mr. Ikeno provides comments on some of the winning pieces, such as one from Takashi Sato of Tokyo. whose illustration prompts a humorous comment from Ikeno about misreading a nickname and encourages a positive interpretation of the game's story. Another featured illustration by Hitotoshi Takano from Saitama receives praise for its composition, but notes on the drawing style, with Ino suggesting the artist might excel in 3D CG. The page also includes a brief Q and Akano with Kenji Ino regarding the status of his next projects. He confirms that Real Sound 2 is beginning development for the Sega Saturn, while D2 is starting development on a certain hardware, later released on Dreamcast. He also mentions an RPG project is in the planning stages, stating it's quite interesting. Overall, the page serves as a celebration of fan creativity for Real Sound and provides exciting hints about the future direction of Ino's work following the game's release. This page presents further results and thanks participants for the Real Sound Regret of the Wind illustration contest. The large text at the center expresses gratitude to all who applied from everyone involved. The page showcases 4 featured illustrations, each accompanied by the artist's prefecture, name, or pseudonym, and comments from the game's director, Kenji Ino. From Fukushima Prefecture, Abe Osamitsu's grayscale illustration depicting a figure in a rainy, melancholic setting is featured, with Ino noting it feels like Real Sound in Tohoku and praising the strong drawing style. PN Fu from Aichi Prefecture submits an illustration of a person on the phone. Ino considered this their best work among others submitted and suggested adding more psychological depth, though acknowledged it might be a matter of preference. PN Uemoto Metsura from Toyama Prefecture provides an illustration of a girl in a field. Ino recognized them and humorously requested they get in touch. Finally, Sandako Kuwata from Chiba Prefecture's illustration showing a girl by a window with the Real Sound logo is highlighted, with Ino calling Kuwata an artist and stating the piece is perfect for an imaginative game like Real Sound. A brief note at the bottom offers an apology for some attribution errors regarding these illustrations in a previous issue. This page delves into the world of Refrain Love, with a campus report focusing on character compatibility based on blood types. It breaks down key characters from the game by their blood type, A, B, O, and AB, giving a brief personality overview for each and offering relationship strategies. Featured characters and their types include Tomomi Sakura, A, known for valuing harmony but having a hidden intensity; Shoko Takamiya, B, described as going her own pace once committed; Taizo Sakaki, O, seen as dependable but perhaps a bit too simple; and Ran Yuki, Ab, presented as cool and always pursuing ideals. The strategy sections provide tips on how to approach characters of each blood type, offering specific advice based on their personality traits within the game. The page also includes a section for Refrain Love Letters, sharing thoughts and questions from players about the game's characters and experiences. Additionally, there's a special call for submissions in an Autumn of Art contest, inviting players to share Refrain Love-themed poems and spine-tingling memorable lines from the game. Various character artworks are displayed throughout the page, including a prominent illustration, likely of Tomomi Sakura. This page offers a fun, interactive look at the game's characters and encourages fan participation. This page jumps right back into the world of Refrain Love, featuring the Pyoko Club column, which zeroes in on the popular character Shoko. The main illustration depicts Shoko, described as being designed with a career girl image, accompanied by commentary praising her mix of straightforwardness and womanliness. There's even a small bubble, where she says she's got drunk, adding a touch of character flavor. The page also includes the Refrain Love Sisters Love Clinic, AQ, and A, where fans can get advice on relationship matters, framed within the context of the game's themes. One question deals with overcoming awkwardness in a new relationship, receiving practical tips like observing your partner's reactions and creating exciting shared experiences. For collectors, the page highlights a White Snow Limited Refrain Love package, showcasing its contents including a heart-shaped CD featuring game music and voice actor talk, character cards, and a power memory sticker. Adding to the fan engagement, there's a contest where contributions like illustrations or fan mail can win 3,000 yen in book tokens, and a massive giveaway offering 17 production cells used in the PlayStation version of the game. It's clear the developers were keen on rewarding their dedicated fan base. This page features an article about the Sega AM3 development team and the completion of their new game, Winter Heat. The article includes an interview with producer Mie Kumagai, where she discusses the game's highlights, Following up on the success of Decathlete, Winter Heat aims to capture the unique exhilaration and speed of winter sports. Kumagai emphasizes the rich variety of events and the focus on distinctive characters. Although the game features 8 events compared to Decathlete's 10, the content within each event has been significantly upgraded. The game includes a variety of winter competitions, such as speed skiing, ski jumping, downhill skiing, short track speed skating, slalom skiing, bobsleigh, speed skating, and cross-country skiing. The objective is to compete across all 8 events over 2 days, with the final score being the total points accumulated. The game retains the fundamental system from its predecessor, but promises an immediately engaging experience. Screenshots on the page show different events like speed skating and downhill skiing. The Winter Heat webpage introduces the game's 8 characters, including returning faces from Decathlete, alongside newcomers. Each character has a distinct type and personality. The page also features an interview with producer Mie Kumagai, detailing the game's development. Kumagai discusses event selection, challenges in accurately representing winter sports, and balancing realism with arcade-style fun. She emphasizes the gameplay mechanics and how the game caters to different skill levels. Kumagai highlights the positive reception at the AM show, particularly its enjoyment factor. She also mentions the record-keeping system designed to balance skill with character stats. The interview's tone is one of pride and satisfaction with the game's progress. Quote, "This page features volume 33 of the SEGA AM3 lab-approved project column, focused on Cyber Troopers Virtualon, written by Suzuki Doitsu. The page highlights the ongoing completion of VR Girl Teleka telephone cards, likely featuring characters related to the Virtualon universe, and encourages readers to submit opinions and illustrations for a chance to have them adopted and receive prizes, with 3 types currently available. An illustration of the Virtuoroid Dorcas, HBV10B, by Mika Akitaka, is prominently displayed. The bottom section shares unfortunate news that Mika Akitaka's contribution is absent this month due to a sudden serious illness, with wishes for her speedy recovery. The writer also mentions wishing to see the Ultraman Dyna TV show and visiting places other than stores, plus buying the Saturn game Angelique Special. A campaign to pre-order a game with a partially revealed title is mentioned, along with a continuing recruitment for names for the VR Dorcas Girl and future Bergdor Girl characters. This page features the Autumn Harvest Festival, a showcase of fan-made publications, or doujinshi, dedicated to the world of Cyber Troopers Virtualon. Several creative circles are highlighted for their work. The V2 Enhancement Committee provides detailed artwork in the style of Hajime Katoki, featuring numerous Virtuoroids and a mini-manga. Ryu no Kenyukai is noted for its popular, gag-filled content, cleverly mixing Virtuon themes with others like Sakura Wars, and is praised for its art. Team Virtual Moon offers a varied compilation, including a beginner's guide to the X-Band online service, and manga centered on the Virtuoids. The Catch Me in the Minefield book shows a strong dedication to the Balbasbo unit, with a consistent art style and a cute take on the character. Other books like Virtuoid Positive and Movin' On also feature detailed illustrations and manga of the Virtuoid lineup, such as Temjin and Viper 2. Kaguraya Kubu is appreciated for its character focus and humorous doodles, while Akeidu presents manga with good characterization, including some suggestive humor. The general sentiment shared is that while the publications are entertaining, they could benefit from more ero, or adult-oriented content, jestingly comparing them to other popular game series. This page is the AM2 Official Corner, Volume 72, presenting a big scoop. It dives into a surprising phenomenon discovered in Virtua Striker 2, specifically, the appearance of a mysterious, giant creature on the football field. The creature is revealed to be Bean the Dynamite. For those who know AM2's history, Bean is the soccer-loving duck character who first appeared in the arcade fighting game Sonic Championship, known as Sonic the Fighters in Japan. He later returned as a hidden character in the compilation title Fighters Megamix, where his father, Bin the Dynamite Duck from the classic arcade game Dynamite Ducks, also made an appearance. Bean is known for his unique style, utilizing bombs and warp attacks, making him a comical and distinctive character compared to others. The article expresses bewilderment and excitement about Bean suddenly appearing in Virtua Striker 2 matches. It questions why he's there and speculates on his massive size depicted in the screenshots, even humorously suggesting he might be an alter ego of producer Toshihiro Nagoshi. It seems this unexpected cameo is quite the talking point among players. This page continues the big scoop about Bean the Dynamite appearing in Virtua Striker 2. It details the specific conditions required for Bean to show up on the field. You need to become the world champion more than 50 times. Additionally, Bean appears when FC Sega is losing, or the score is tied, and there are less than 30 seconds left on the clock, and a player change occurs. Note that you cannot use Bean as your main character. Regarding Bean's abilities, the article states that his stats are all maxed out, and he possesses powerful dribbling speed and explosive power that surpasses other players. The development staff finally reveal the truth behind this bizarre cameo. Director Toshifumi Mifune explains that Bean's appearance was a prank by the development staff dedicated to Bin, the producer who brought the game and team together. They wanted to give Bin a gift that would surprise him, and were very careful during development to keep it a secret. Mifune expresses hope that players are enjoying Virtua Striker 2 and seeing Bean, whom he calls a divine creature. It seems Bin eventually found out, but is reportedly pleased with the surprise gift. This page is dedicated to SNK World 97, a section focusing on SNK games and interaction with fans. It announces a renewal of the SNK page in the magazine, and the launch of new interactive corners for readers. The maker's comment hints at upcoming arcade titles like Samurai Showdown and The Last Blade, and encourages readers to send in their opinions and illustrations. The page introduces new submission corners, including a popularity poll for favorite SNK characters, and special moves. A Help SNK section for questions, and a corner for recommending favorite SNK items or characters. There's also a section showcasing fan-submitted illustrations, titled It's New Characters, featuring characters like Yuki Kusakabe, Shingo Yabuki, Chris, and Yashiro Nanakase from the King of Fighters series. The Your Questions Answered, Help, SNK section addresses fan queries. One question asks about the origin of Ralph and Tank, clarifying that the arcade game, TANK, released before Ikari Warriors, featured Ralph in a tank, serving as a precursor. Another question seeks advice on fighting against the Orochi version of Chris in the King of Fighters, suggesting the player pay close attention to the opponent's inputs due to potential command timing differences. Overall, the page is a vibrant fan hub for SNK enthusiasts. This page is dedicated to practical combos you can use in the King of Fighters 97. It's presented as the first part of a 3-part series focusing on techniques that are effective in actual matches. The page breaks down key combos for characters across several teams, including the protagonist team, Kyo, Benimaru, Daimon, Fatal Fury team, Terry, Andy, Joe, Women Fighters team, Chizuru, Mai, King, New Faces team, Yashiro, Shermie, Chris, the 97 Special team, Yamazaki, Billy, Blue Mary, and Iori, Yagami. Each character section lists recommended combo sequences, often starting from crouching weak attacks or jump attacks, and provides tips on when and how to best apply them, such as on an opponent's wake-up or after a jump. The emphasis is on reliable combos that can be consistently executed in real match situations. There's also a fun little section where 2 editors share their personal favorite combos in the game, highlighting some specific character sequences they find particularly effective or enjoyable. This page is a great resource for players looking to improve their fundamental combo game in KOF 97. This page kicks off a new corner in the magazine titled Zoom In Elf, promising a closer look at the developer. This first installment features Kimiko Furuyama, the voice actress for the character Yuno in the upcoming game Yuno, a girl who chants love at the edge of the world. Furuyama shares her experience as a first-time voice actress during the 3-day recording session for Yuno. She recounts her initial nervousness and lack of confidence in writing ability, but expresses her excitement about voicing a character, something she dreamed of. Despite feeling a bit nervous and even tearing up from emotion, she describes the process as enjoyable, especially getting into the role by the end. Photos from the recording studio are included, showing the atmosphere. There is also a smaller segment titled Sakura's Elf Exploration Team, featuring an illustration and some text, and a call for reader feedback and questions for the corner. It's a neat behind-the-scenes look at the creation of a highly anticipated title from Elf. Dr. Hito Fuse's article, The Subtle Relationship Between Games and Art, Where to Return, examines virtual reality through the game virus. It challenges the conventional view of VR as an escape by exploring viruses processing alive, a virtual world accessed via a transfer. Unlike typical VR, experiences in virus can be brought back to reality as biochemical memories, blurring the lines between virtual and real. This concept suggests a return to reality isn't an escape, but a rediscovery. The article contemplates the nature of reality within layered virtual worlds. Fuse also references a real-world VR attraction, The Crypt, at Sega's Joyopolis, highlighting the physical sensations possible in VR. The page also includes an illustration and portrait of Dr. Fuse, and is part of his column, Weekly Fuse Academia, where he explores themes of life, death, and the intersection of the brain and art. This page features a weekly horoscope section titled, Mother of Hakozaki's Fortune Telling, for the week of October 17th to October 23rd. The astrologer, known as the Mother of Hakozaki, is introduced, stating her over 20 years of experience in fortune-telling, and noting her recent focus on consulting with the editorial staff. The lucky person of the week is identified as Ruby, from Langrisser V, The End of Legend, born on October 18th. Her advice for the week covers relationships, don't be stingy, health, good condition, work, study, focus leads to learning, and love, sincerity increases favorability. The main part of the page provides horoscopes for all 12 zodiac signs, each divided into sections for male and female fortunes, and accompanied by illustrations of the signs. The horoscopes offer brief insights into the week ahead for each sign, covering various aspects of life. The descriptions highlight key points for each sign, without going into excessive detail for every individual fortune. This page dives into the world of hidden techniques submitted by readers for various Sega Saturn games. This week's top secrets feature 4 games. The number 1 spot highlights Street Fighter Collection, showing you how to unlock Akuma and a different colored Sakura right from the start. The page shows screenshots of the character selection and gameplay, giving a glimpse of these special versions in action. Next up is Dazemon 2, a game creation tool. A cool trick lets you play user-created shooting games like Miyabi and Elfin, showcasing some impressive examples from the game's community with screenshots. Sharing the 3rd spot are 2 different games. First is Resident Evil, known as Biohazard in Japan, where a technique lets you jump straight into the battle game mode without having to clear the main story, perfect for quick action. The page displays the title screen and a battle scene. The other 3rd-ranked game is Cross Romance, a multi-genre title featuring Mahjong and Hanafuda. Here, a tip allows you to freely select your opponent from the get-go in the free battle modes for both Mahjong and Hanafuda, as shown by the character selection screenshot. Finally, there's an open call for readers to submit their own discovered secret techniques for Sega Saturn games. This page features the weekly Sega Saturn soft review, covering games scheduled for release between October 17th and October 24th. The reviews are based on playing pre-release versions by various contributors, including female users, high rollers, and guest writers. 2 games are under the spotlight this week. First up is Tactical Fighter, a training simulation game where you raise a character. The screenshot shows a menu interface. Reviewers noted its focus on events and character training as easy aspects, but some felt it lacked originality and love, resulting in a mixed average score of 5.0. The other featured game is All Japan Pro Wrestling, featuring Virtua Fighter. This is a fighting game showcasing wrestlers from the real-life All Japan Pro Wrestling promotion, alongside Virtua Fighter characters like Wolf and Jeffrey. And you can even create your own fighter. The screenshot depicts a wrestling match in progress. The game was highly praised for its motion capture, which captures the wrestlers' movements realistically, and the fan service of including Virtua Fighter characters. While generally well received for its realism and depth, some reviewers found minor flaws in repetitive moments or timing, but it still garnered a strong average score of 7.6. The page also includes a small section introducing the reviewers to give readers insight into their preferences. This week's Sega Saturn soft review presents 3 games. Lost World. Jurassic Park offers action based on the film. Reviewers enjoyed the character transformation mechanic and visuals, but criticized the challenging platforming and difficulty. Pastel Muse, a sound-based puzzle game, features a cute art style and matching sound notes. While visually appealing, its physics and chain reactions were found lacking depth. Legend of the Galactic Heroes Plus, a strategy game adapted from the anime/novel, garnered praise for its strategic depth and faithful adaptation of the story, including voice acting from the original series. However, the game's learning curve and limited strategic options were noted, making it best suited for series fans. This page presents the new soft schedule. offering a comprehensive look at upcoming Sega Saturn game releases. It's laid out clearly with columns for release date, title, price, manufacturer, genre, and compatibility. The page includes handy legends explaining the various genre abbreviations like ACT for action, RPG for role-playing game, ADV for adventure, and SLG for simulation, among others. It also details compatible peripherals such as handle, racing controller, mouse, keyboard, and various multiplayer adapters or controllers. Additionally, the schedule notes age restrictions for certain titles and other important details, like whether a game is a completely new release or an updated version. The main section is a large table detailing games slated for release in October, November, and December, providing gamers a crucial roadmap of what's heading to the console soon. This is the essential guide to planning your purchases and anticipating the next big hits or hidden gems arriving on the Sega Saturn. The next page continues the essential new soft schedule for the Sega Saturn, providing a detailed look at upcoming titles. This section lists games with release dates ranging from unknown timeframes through specific months in 1998, including February, March, and April, extending into spring and summer of '98. The schedule maintains its clear format, listing titles alongside their prices, manufacturers, genres, and compatibility details. Featured on this page are highly anticipated titles across various genres. For strategy fans, there's Sakura Taisen 2 and Shining Force 2, continuing their popular series. Fighting game enthusiasts can look forward to hits like The King of Fighters, '97, Virtua Fighter 3, and Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. Adventure and RPG titles are well represented with games such as Riven, the sequel to Myst, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, listed as Akumajo Dracula X, and The Lunars, Eternal Blue. Simulation games like Princess Maker and Derby Stallion also feature prominently. The page provides a comprehensive snapshot of the diverse software library planned for the Sega Saturn, giving players a glimpse into the future lineup from a wide array of developers and publishers, covering everything from action and simulation to role-playing and puzzle games. This page features a special reader present giveaway from SEGA Saturn Magazine. Readers had the chance to win prizes by answering a questionnaire and submitting an application via postcard by October 31st. The prizes highlighted with images include Sega Saturn software for 20 winners, offering a game from the library released by October 17th. There's also a cool Capcom t-shirt for 3 winners, a vibrant store poster for the classic dating sim Tokimeki Memorial featuring iconic characters like Shiori Fujisaki for 5 winners, a delightful teacup adorned with the adorable character from the Cotton series for 5 winners, and the official guidebook for Sonic Jam for 10 winners, essential for any Sonic fan diving into the collection. The page also notes that the next issue of SEGA Saturn Magazine, the November 7th issue, is scheduled for release on October 24th. Contact information is provided for inquiries about the magazine's content, available on weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Finally, there's a list of winners from the previous issue's giveaway, featuring prizes such as Sega Saturn software, Mega Man X4 posters, and various other game-related goods for winners across Japan. This page features an exciting advertisement for the Sega Saturn title, Kamen Rider: Masked Rider Tactics. Set to launch on November 13th for 6,800 yen, this game puts a unique spin on the classic hero. Instead of playing as the rider, you're recruited as a candidate for a new evil organization. Your mission is to defeat the Kamen Riders. The game includes detailed operation analysis files, packed with intelligence on Kamen Rider 1, Kamen Rider 2, various monsters, and the Great Organization, presented through photos and movie clips. You'll utilize this data in a simulation mode to plan your strategies and take down the heroes. Study the enemy's weaknesses and tactics to achieve victory. As a bonus, there's a campaign offering a special skeleton figure of the original Kamen Rider 1. The page shows glimpses of the game's interface, including profiles for characters like Ichimonji Hayato and monster data, highlighting the strategic depth involved. It's a fascinating concept, letting players see the Kamen Rider world from the villain's perspective. This page heralds a new era for game sound with the launch of the MMV label, set to release 3 exciting music titles on October 17th. First up is the Hang On / Space Harrier album, produced by the legendary Yu Suzuki himself, featuring a hybrid CD extra with video from the Saturn versions, a must-have for classic fans looking to relive those arcade days. Next is SEGA Touring Car Championship, a limited Japanese edition featuring dance music in collaboration with Avex, presented as a 2-disc set including a Saturn demo CD, bringing the high-octane racing sound to life. Finally, Club SEGA brings arcade hits like the Virtua Fighter series, and consumer favorites like Sonic the Hedgehog into the club scene, with 100% club mixes by renowned remixers from around the world, ready to ignite the dance floor. These albums showcase Sega's rich musical history and future sounds, released by Marvelous Entertainment and distributed by Pony Canyon, promising good vibrations for gamers.